This is Daniel Rothman. It's 6:47 a.m. Tuesday morning, and you're listening to 10-0. I've been your morning voice for 11 years now? 11 years of traffic reports and weather updates and telling you which roads to avoid on your commute. Today started like any other. Coffee's getting cold next to me. Emily just handed me the morning briefs. Standard stuff. Accident on the interstate. Some kind of incident at the Riverside Market downtown. We'll get to that in a moment. Temperature sitting at about 52 degrees. Clouds rolling in from the west. Might see some rain by afternoon. You'll want that umbrella if you're heading out later. Traffic's building up on the usual spots. Route 7 northbound is slow near the Miller Avenue exit. Give yourself an extra 10 minutes if that's your route. Now, about this situation at Riverside Market, Emily's got a note here from the police scanner. Says there was some kind of delivery mishap early this morning around 5. A drone, one of those autonomous delivery units, apparently had some kind of malfunction and came down right in the middle of the market. Happened during the early vendor setup, so the place wasn't packed with shoppers yet, but there were plenty of people around getting their stalls ready. The report says the drone was carrying medical supplies, transplant materials. From what we're hearing, crashed right into the produce section near the east entrance. Made quite a mess, apparently. Containers broke open, fluid everywhere. Health department's been notified. They're sending a team down to assess the situation and make sure there's no contamination issues. Market's closed for the morning while they clean up. No injuries reported from the crash itself, which is fortunate. Could have been much worse if it had happened an hour later when the crowds really start coming in. The vendor whose stall got hit, I think Emily said it was Martinez Produce. They're obviously not happy about the loss, but these things happen. City will probably compensate. What's interesting is how these drones are supposed to have multiple redundancy systems. Navigation failure shouldn't cause a crash like this. They're designed to land safely even if they lose GPS, lose communication, lose just about anything. Something must have gone seriously wrong with this one. I'm sure there'll be an investigation. The company that operates these delivery drones, Medlink or MediDrone or something like that, they're going to have some explaining to do. Emily just told me we're getting calls about traffic backing up on Riverside Boulevard near the market. That's expected with the closure. If you usually cut through that area, take Harrison Street instead. It'll add maybe 5 minutes, but it's moving. Weather stations updated their forecast. That rain I mentioned, they're saying it might hold off until evening now. 50% chance after 6 p.m. High today around 63. Not bad for November. Enjoy it while it lasts because I'm seeing a cold front coming in by the weekend. We might actually see our first frost of the season Saturday night. Let's talk about what else is happening in the city today. The school board meeting that was scheduled for tonight has been postponed. They'll reconvene Thursday instead. Something about budget documents not being ready. If you were planning to attend, make a note of that chain. Construction on the Parkway Bridge continues. Still looking at that right lane closure between exits 12 and 15. Been that way for 3 weeks now. They say another 2 weeks minimum. I'll believe it when I see it. These projects always run over. Got an email here from Linda in Brookfield asking about the community center renovation. Linda, I checked on that for you. The contractor says they're on schedule. Pool should reopen by mid-December. They're finishing up the tile work this week. Then it's just filtration system installation and inspection. So, yeah, looks like you'll have your lap swimming back before the holiday. It's 7:02 now. Let me give you the traffic update again. Route 7 northbound is still crawling near Miller Avenue. Accident's been cleared, but the backup remains. Riverside Boulevard around the market area is congested due to that closure we talked about. Harrison Street is your alternate route. Everything else is moving normally for a Tuesday morning. Emily's handing me another note. Okay. So, update on the market situation. Police are asking people who were at Riverside Market between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. this morning to contact the health department. It's precautionary. They just want to make sure nobody came into contact with the spilled material. The number to call is 555-0147. That's the health department's direct line. Again, 555-0147 if you were at the market early this morning. I'm sure it's just an abundance of caution thing. Medical waste protocols, you know how it is. Everything has to be documented. Everyone has to be accounted for. Bureaucracy in action. But better safe than sorry when you're dealing with medical materials. Speaking of medical, the flu clinic at Mercy Hospital is running all week. Free flu shots, no appointment necessary. They're open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you haven't gotten yours yet, now's a good time. Flu season's ramping up. We're already seeing higher than usual numbers for this time of year according to the county health office. What else do we have here? Oh, the Veterans Memorial Dedication Ceremony that was supposed to happen this Saturday has been moved to next Saturday, the 18th. Weather concerns, I think. They want to make sure it's a nice day for it. These men and women deserve that. Time is 7:14. You're listening to 1004.7 FM. I'm Daniel Rothman. Let me get you some news from overnight. Nationally, the Senate is still debating that infrastructure bill. Votes expected later this week. President gave a speech last night about economic growth. Markets opened flat this morning, nothing dramatic happening there. Internationally, trade talks continue in Geneva, the usual. Nothing that affects your morning commute, I promise. Locally, the mayor's office announced they'll be doing a press conference at 10 a.m. today about the new downtown development project, that mixed-use complex they've been planning. 5 years of planning meetings and public comment periods, and here we are. I'll try to get the highlights for you after it happens. Emily says we've got confirmation that the market will definitely be closed all day today. They're being thorough with the cleanup. Vendors are being told to expect reopening tomorrow morning, Wednesday, assuming everything checks out. So if you were planning to do your shopping there today, you'll need to hit one of the other markets or wait until tomorrow. The farmers market out at Stonebridge Plaza is open. That's an alternative if you want fresh produce today. They run Tuesday and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Good people out there. Bit of a drive if you're coming from the east side of the city, but worth it for the quality. Traffic on Route 7 is finally starting to move. Backup's clearing. Took long enough. Riverside Boulevard is still your problem area. I'd avoid it until at least 9. You know, I've been thinking about these delivery drones. We've had them flying over the city for 3 years now? Started with food delivery, then expanded to medical supplies, documents, small packages. I remember when they first announced it, everyone was excited about the future. Drone deliveries like something out of science fiction. And for the most part, it's worked well. Convenient. Fast. But every technology has its failures. This morning's crash is a reminder of that. The company will investigate. They always do. They'll find out it was a computer glitch or a mechanical failure or maybe even human error in the programming. They'll issue a statement about how seriously they take safety. They'll implement new protocols, and life goes on. That's how these things work. I don't say that to be cynical. It's just reality. We accept certain risks for the convenience we get. Cars crash, but we still drive. Planes occasionally have problems, but we still fly. Drones will malfunction sometimes, but we'll keep using them because they make life easier. Risk versus reward. Modern life. Emily's pointing at the clock. Right. Time is 7:31. Let me give you weather again. 52 degrees currently. Mostly cloudy. High of 63 expected. Rain chances pushed back to evening, 50% after 6 p.m. Winds light from the southwest. If you're just joining us, Riverside Market is closed today due to a cleanup operation after an early morning drone crash. The Harrison Street alternate route is recommended if you normally travel through that area. Health Department is asking anyone who was at the market between 5 and 6 a.m. to call 555, purely precautionary. Let me take a moment to remind everyone that November is National Diabetes Awareness Month. County Health Services is offering free diabetes screenings all month at various locations. You can find the schedule on their website or call 555-0199 for information. Diabetes is one of those conditions that can sneak up on you. Getting screened is easy and it could save your life. Worth the 15 minutes it takes. The high school football playoffs are this weekend. Our local team, the Central Wildcats, they're playing Friday night at home against Westfield. Game time is 7 p.m. If you're a fan, get there early. Parking fills up fast for playoff games. Should be a good match. Both teams are undefeated. Something's got to give. I played football in high school, long time ago, different era. We didn't have the equipment these kids have now. We didn't have the training programs, the nutrition guidance, the sports medicine. We just showed up and hit each other until someone told us to stop. Amazing any of us survived. My knees sure remember it, but I loved it. The teamwork, the strategy, the physical challenge. There's something pure about sports. Clear rules, clear objectives. Win or lose, you shake hands at the end. Life should be that simple. It rarely is. Time 7:44 a.m. Traffic update, Route 7 is back to normal flow. Riverside Boulevard remains congested. Harrison Street is moving well as an alternate. The Parkway Bridge construction continues to impact the right lane between exits 12 and 15. Plan accordingly. Emily just got off the phone with someone from the police department. They're saying the health department response to the market incident is bigger than initially expected. They've sent multiple teams. Hazmat unit is on scene. That seems like a lot for spilled transplant tissue, but I guess they have protocols they have to follow. Medical material is regulated heavily, can't be too careful. The vendors who were setting up this morning, maybe 30 or 40 people, they're all being interviewed and checked out. Again, it's precautionary, making sure nobody got contaminated, making sure the area is safe before they reopen. The city's taking it seriously, which is good. Public safety first. I'm seeing an update here about traffic cameras near the market. Apparently they captured the drone crash on video. The footage is being reviewed by investigators. That should help them figure out what went wrong mechanically. These drones have black boxes too, like aircraft. Data recording everything. They'll pull that data and analyze it. We'll probably know exactly what failed within a few days. Weather update. Still 52 degrees. Clouds are thickening up. That rain might come earlier than forecast. I'm looking out the studio window here, and the sky's definitely looking heavier. Wouldn't surprise me if we see some drizzle by mid-afternoon. Keep the umbrella handy. You know what I miss? Manual windows in cars. You young people probably don't even know what I'm talking about. We used to have to crank the windows up and down with handles. Physical effort. And you know what? They never broke. Power windows, they're convenient until they fail. Then you're stuck with a window that won't close in the rain or won't open when you need air. Progress brings complexity. Complexity brings failure points. I sound like an old man. I am an old man, 61 this year. Been on radio since I was 23. Started in college radio, moved to small town stations, worked my way up. This city's been good to me. This station's been good to me. Some mornings I think about retirement. Then I come in, I sit down at this microphone, and I remember why I do this. Connection. That's what radio is. I'm talking to you right now. Maybe you're in your car. Maybe you're making breakfast. Maybe you're getting dressed for work. But we're connected. This voice, your ear. It's intimate in a way. I appreciate that you're listening. Time is 8:01 a.m. Top of the hour. You're listening to 1004.7 FM with Daniel Roth. Let me give you the headlines. Locally, Riverside Market remains closed following an early morning delivery drone crash. Health Department conducting precautionary screening of vendors and early morning visitors. Market expected to reopen Wednesday. Traffic impacts on Riverside Boulevard use Harrison Street as alternate route. The mayor's office will hold a press conference at 10 a.m. regarding the downtown development project. School board meeting postponed from tonight to Thursday. Community center pool renovation on schedule for mid-December reopening. Nationally, Senate infrastructure bill still under debate. Economic growth speech from the president last night receiving mixed reactions. Markets flat at opening. Weather, currently 52 degrees under cloudy skies, high 63. Rain chances 50% this evening, possibly earlier. Light southwest winds. Traffic, Route 7 flowing normally. Riverside Boulevard congested due to market closure. Parkway Bridge construction continues. Right lane closed between exits 12 and... Emily's handing me something. Hold on. Okay. We're getting word that Mercy Hospital is asking people to avoid the emergency room for non-urgent matters this morning. They're experiencing higher than usual patient volume. If you have a minor injury or illness, consider using urgent care clinics instead. The ER should be reserved for actual emergencies. This is pretty common during flu season. ERs get overwhelmed with people who could be treated elsewhere. Save the emergency room for broken bones, chest pain, severe bleeding, that kind of thing. Actually, that reminds me, a few weeks ago I sliced my hand open pretty badly in my garage. I was working on my workbench using a chisel, and it slipped. Blood everywhere. I drove myself to the ER thinking I'd need stitches. Waited 4 hours. 4 hours for what turned out to be 6 stitches and a tetanus shot. The nurse told me I should have gone to urgent care. Would have been seen in 30 minutes. Lesson learned. Unless you're dying, urgent care is the way to go. Of course, the definition of emergency is subjective. What feels like an emergency to you might not meet the clinical definition. That's the challenge healthcare workers face. They can't turn people away, but they need to prioritize the truly critical cases. Tough job, I don't envy them. Speaking of healthcare, there's been some discussion at the city council level about EMS response times. Some neighborhoods are arguing they don't get adequate coverage. The data shows average response time across the city is about 8 minutes, which meets national standards, but averages hide variations. Some areas get 5-minute response times. Some areas wait 12 minutes. Geography matters. Traffic patterns matter. Where stations are located matters. It's a complex issue. The council's looking at it. We'll see if anything changes. Time's 8:17. Let me check in with traffic again. Riverside Boulevard is still your main trouble spot. Traffic's backing up all the way to 3rd Street now. If you're trying to get downtown from the east, seriously consider Harrison Street or even swing north to Jefferson and come down that way. It'll save you time and frustration. Everything else is moving pretty well. Actually, traffic's lighter than usual for a Tuesday morning. Maybe people heard about the market situation and decided to stay home. Or maybe it's just one of those days where everyone happened to leave at different times. Traffic's weird like that. Unpredictable. Emily just mentioned that we're getting some calls from listeners asking about the market situation. People want to know if it's safe, if there's any danger to the public, that sort of thing. Look, based on what we're hearing, this is a cleanup and precautionary screening situation. The health department hasn't issued any warnings or advisories for the general public. If you weren't at the market between 5 and 6 a.m. this morning, you're fine. Go about your day normally. The people who are there, yeah, they need to contact the health department. But that's just so they can be checked out, make sure they didn't come into contact with anything. It's standard procedure when medical materials are involved. Regulations require it. Nobody's saying there's an active threat. The hazmat team being there, that sounds scary, but it's protocol. Anytime there's a spill of biological material, hazmat responds. It's their job. Doesn't mean it's dangerous, it means they're being thorough. There's a difference. I think in our modern world we've become very reactive to certain words. Hazmat, contamination, biological material. These words trigger fear responses. Sometimes that fear is warranted. Sometimes it's not. Right now, nothing I'm seeing suggests this is anything more than an unfortunate accident being handled by the appropriate authorities following established protocols. If that changes, if there's reason for concern, the health department will tell us. They'll issue statements, they'll give guidance. That's their job. Until then, let's not panic over spilled medical supplies. Time is 8:20. Weather check. Temperature's up to 54 now. Clouds are definitely building. I'm going to revise my earlier statement. I think we'll see rain by noon. The system's moving faster than forecast. Nothing heavy, just steady drizzle probably. Those of you with outdoor plans this afternoon might want to consider moving them indoors. Let's talk about something else. City Library is hosting a lecture series this month on local history. Every Thursday evening at 7 p.m. This week's topic is the founding of the city in 18. How settlers came through here on their way west and decided this was a good place to stop. River access, fertile land, defensive position. The city's grown a lot since then. Population's 340,000 now? Used to be just a few hundred people. I find local history fascinating. The people who came before us, the decisions they made, the challenges they faced, were living in what they built. Standing on their foundations. Literally and figuratively. Sometimes I walk downtown and look at the old buildings, the ones that survived urban renewal and modernization, and I think about all the lives that passed through those doors. All the conversations, all the business deals, all the mundane daily activities. Layers of human experience. There's a building on 5th Street, the old First National Bank building, built in 8 sandstone facade, ornate carvings, beautiful architecture. Now it's apartments on the upper floors and retail on the ground level, but you can still see the original bank vault door in the back. They preserved it. I went in there once years ago and just stood looking at that vault door, thinking about all the money that went in and out, all the people who trusted that bank with their savings. The economic cycles the building witnessed, depression, wars, booms, busts, and it's still standing. We don't build things like that anymore. Modern buildings are efficient but disposable, designed for 50-year lifespans. That old bank building will probably outlast everything we're constructing today. There's a metaphor in there somewhere. Time's 8:43. Emily's telling me we need to do a station identification. Right, this is 104.7 FM WRTH, broadcasting to the greater metro area and surrounding counties. I'm Daniel Rothman, and you're listening to The Morning Show. Traffic update. Riverside Boulevard remains congested. The backup's not getting worse, but it's not getting better either. Harrison Street continues to be your best alternate route. Parkway Bridge construction, same story as always. Route 7 is clear. Interstate is flowing normally. Overall, not a bad morning traffic-wise, except for that one trouble spot. I'm looking at the email here. Question from Marcus in Southside asking about the property tax assessment appeals. Marcus, the deadline for filing an appeal is December 15th. You need to submit your forms to the county assessor's office. There's information on the county website about the process. Basically, you need to show that your property was assessed at a higher value than comparable properties in your area. You'll need evidence, comparable sales data, maybe a professional appraisal, It's a process, but if you think your assessment is unfair, it's worth pursuing. Property taxes are frustrating. I get it. Every year they go up. Your income doesn't necessarily go up with them. The services you receive don't necessarily improve, but that's how local government funds itself. Schools, roads, police, fire, parks, all of it comes from property taxes primarily. I'm not defending it, I'm just explaining it. System's not perfect, but it's what we have. Another email. This one from Jennifer asking about the animal shelter adoption event. Jennifer, that's this Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the shelter on Industrial Boulevard. They've got dozens of dogs and cats looking for homes. Adoption fees are reduced this weekend. If you've been thinking about getting a pet, this is a good opportunity. Shelter's overcrowded right now. These animals need homes. I had a dog once. German Shepherd named Duke. Best friend I ever had. Loyal, smart, protective. Lived to be 13. When he died, I was devastated. Cried like a baby. Told myself I'd never get another dog because I couldn't go through that pain again. That was 15 years ago. I still miss him. Maybe I should go to that adoption event. Maybe it's time. But then I think about my schedule. I'm here at the station early every morning. Long days sometimes. Wouldn't be fair to a dog. They need attention, exercise, companionship. I'd be a bad owner right now. So I resist the urge. Maybe when I retire, that's what I tell myself. When I retire, I'll get a dog. Give it the time it deserves. Time is 8:58. Let me give you weather again before the top of the hour. Currently 54 degrees, cloudy and getting darker. I'm confident now that we'll see rain by midday. Temperature high today around 63, but we might not reach that if the rain comes early. Rain will be light, but persistent. Clearing out tonight. Tomorrow looking better, partly cloudy, high around 60. Extended forecast has that cold front I mentioned arriving Saturday. Temperatures dropping into the 40s for highs. 30s overnight. First frost Saturday night into Sunday morning. If you have plants you care about, you'll want to protect them or bring them inside. Also, if you haven't winterized your outside faucets and sprinkler systems, this weekend would be a good time. Traffic, same story. Riverside Boulevard congested. Harrison Street is your alternate. Everything else normal for a Tuesday morning approaching 9. Emily's got her phone to her ear. She's listening to something, taking notes, looking serious, probably getting an update on the market situation. I'll wait for her to finish. Okay, she's handing me the notes. Let me read through this. All right, so update from the health department. They're saying that they've completed preliminary screenings of about half the vendors and workers who were at the market this morning. So far, everyone's being cleared. No signs of contamination. That's good news. The cleanup of the actual spill site is ongoing. They're using specialized equipment to make sure all the biological material is properly collected and disposed of. The drone itself has been removed and is being transported to a facility for examination. The black box data will be extracted and analyzed. Investigation into the cause of the malfunction is underway. Market vendors are being told they can expect to set up Wednesday morning as usual. Final determination will be made later today once the cleanup is complete and the site is certified safe by the health department. The company that operates the drone, it's called MedLink Delivery Systems. They've issued a statement. Let me see if I have it here. Yes, they say, quote, "We are deeply concerned about this morning's incident at Riverside Market. The safety of the public is our highest priority. We are cooperating fully with investigators to determine the cause of the navigation failure. Our fleet of delivery drones undergoes regular maintenance and safety checks. This type of incident is extremely rare. We apologize for any disruption or concern this has caused." Standard corporate response. Expressing concern, emphasizing safety, apologizing. What else can they say? They'll be sued, probably. The vendor whose stall was destroyed will want compensation. Maybe some of the other vendors who lost business today will sue for lost income. That's the American way. Something goes wrong, lawyers get involved. I don't mean to sound cynical. People have a right to compensation when they're wronged. But litigation has become the default response to everything. Sometimes accidents are just accidents. Not negligence, not malice, just bad luck. But proving that in court is difficult, so companies settle. Insurance pays out. Premiums go up. Costs get passed to consumers. The cycle continued. Time is 9:09 a.m. You're listening to 1004.7 FM. I'm Daniel Rothman. Let me give you the news summary again. Riverside Market closed today following early morning drone crash. Health Department conducting cleanup and precautionary screenings. Preliminary results show no contamination concerns. Market expected to reopen Wednesday. Traffic impacted on Riverside Boulevard. Mayor's press conference about downtown development at 10 a.m. I'll try to get you highlights after that. Mercy Hospital ER experiencing high volume use urgent care for non-emergency situation. Weather 54 degrees, cloudy, rain expected by midday. High 63, clearing tonight. Traffic Riverside Boulevard congested, use Harrison Street, Parkway Bridge construction ongoing. Otherwise normal flow. Let me play some music for you. Coming up, we'll check back in with traffic, weather, any new developments on the market situation. That was 3 songs. Time is now 9:32. Traffic's actually starting to clear a bit on Riverside Boulevard. I guess people finally found alternate routes, or maybe the congestion peak has passed. Still slower than normal, but not the nightmare it was earlier. Emily's on the phone again. She's been busy this morning. More notes coming my way. Let's see what we have. Okay. Interesting. The health department is expanding their request. They now want anyone who is at Riverside Market at any time between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. to contact them. They've pushed the time window back an hour. The number again is 5. If you were at the market during that expanded window, give them a call. I don't know why they've expanded the time frame. The crash happened around 5:30. Cleanup started by 6 hours, and maybe they're just being extra thorough. Maybe they found something during their investigation that made them want to cast a wider net. Emily doesn't have details on that. Also, we're hearing that some of the vendors who were screened this morning are being asked to come to the health department office for follow-up examinations. Not all of them, just some. Again, no details on why or which ones or what they're looking for. Everything's still described as precautionary. I'm starting to wonder if there's something they're not telling us. The escalating response, the expanding time frame, the follow-up examinations, these are signals that something might be more concerning than initially thought. Or maybe I'm reading too much into standard public health procedure. Hard to say. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to alarm anyone. I'm just observing what we're seeing and noting that it seems more involved than a simple cleanup operation would typically require. Could be nothing. Could be abundance of caution. Could be that the regulations around medical material are stricter than I realize. If there was a real danger, they would tell us, right? The health department would issue a statement. They would warn the public. They wouldn't just quietly expand their investigation. That's not how it works. Public health threats require public communication. So the fact that we're not hearing alarm bells suggests this is still just a thorough cleanup. Time is 9:41. Let me check on weather. Still 54 degrees. Clouds are really heavy now. I'd say rain within the hour. I'm looking out the window and the sky has that gray, pressing quality that comes before rain. Wind's picked up a little too. You can see the trees starting to move. There's something about weather that affects mood. Gray days like this, people get more somber, introspective. Physiologically, it's about light levels affecting serotonin. Less light, lower mood. Evolutionarily, gray skies meant staying in shelter, conserving energy. We're wired to respond to weather even though we live in climate-controlled buildings and don't need to hunt for food anymore. I don't mind gray days personally. There's a coziness to them. The world feels smaller, more manageable. Everything slows down a little. People are less aggressive. Traffic is calmer. It's like the weather gives us all permission to ease up. Plus, rain is necessary. We need it. The farmers need it. The reservoirs need it. Ecosystems need it. We complain about rain, but we'd complain a lot more about drought. Balance in all things. Emily just asked me if I wanted more coffee. Yes. Always. Yes. I drink too much coffee. Probably bad for me at my age. But it's one of my few vices. I don't smoke. Stopped drinking years ago. Don't do drugs. Don't gamble. I drink coffee and I occasionally eat too much pasta. That's the extent of my moral failings. The coffee here at the station is terrible, by the way. Generic brand, brewed too weak, I've complained about it. Management says budget constraints. I've threatened to bring my own. Never do, though. Routine is routine. I drink the bad coffee and complain about it. Every morning for 11 years. Time's 9:53. Traffic update. Riverside Boulevard is finally clearing. Whatever was causing the backup has resolved. You can use that route now without too much trouble. Everything else is normal. Light traffic for mid-morning on a Tuesday. Let me remind you, the mayor's press conference about downtown development is at 10 a.m. I'll be monitoring that and will give you the key points afterward. Supposed to be about the mixed-use complex they want to build where the old factory district is. Apartments, retail, office space, modern urban living. Personally, I like the old factory district. It had character, but progress marches on. Historic preservation versus economic development. Old argument. The factories were shuttered for 20 years. Empty buildings, broken windows, weeds growing through cracks in the pavement. Blight, they called it. Eyesore. Waste of valuable real estate. So tear them down. Build something new. Bring in tax revenue. I understand the logic. Still feels like we're erasing history. My grandfather worked in one of those factories. Textile mill. 40 years on the line. Came home every day covered in lint. Exhausted. Made enough to support a family. Buy a house. Send his kids to school. That factory job, that was the pathway to middle class for his generation. Factory closed. Pathway disappeared. Now we're building luxury apartments on the site. Full circle, I suppose. But a different circle than my grandfather's generation traveled. Time is 10:02. The press conference should be starting. Emily's got it streaming on her computer. She'll let me know the highlight. While we wait, let me take some listener comments. Email from Robert in Westfield asking about the flu clinic hours. Robert, that's 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday at Mercy Hospital. Free flu shots, no appointment needed. Go during mid-morning or mid-afternoon if you want to avoid crowds. Lunch hour tends to be busy. Email from Patricia asking if schools are affected by the market situation. Patricia, no, schools are operating normally. The market closure doesn't impact schools. Kids are in class, buses are running, everything's normal on that front. Email from David asking about the drone delivery service. David, I don't have specific information about whether Medlink is suspending operations while they investigate this crash. I would imagine they are, but I haven't heard confirmation. If you have a delivery scheduled with them, you might want to contact them directly. Emily's waving at me. Press conference update. Okay, the mayor is announcing that the downtown development project has been approved by the city council. Construction will begin in the spring. 12-story complex, 200 residential units, 50,000 square feet of retail space, another 30,000 square feet of office space. 5-year build timeline. Expected economic impact, blah blah, job creation, tax revenue, revitalization. Same promises we always hear with these projects. Some of it will come true, some won't. The building will go up, people will move in, stores will open. Whether it revitalizes the area or just gentrify depends on your perspective. The mayor's taking questions now. Reporter asking about affordable housing requirements. Mayor says 20% of the units will be designated affordable. That means 40 apartments out of 200. Better than nothing. Not enough to solve the housing crisis, but every bit helps. Another reporter asking about traffic impact. Mayor says they've done traffic studies. They're planning infrastructure improvements to handle the increased volume. We'll see. More cars, same roads. Math doesn't change. Emily says the press conference is wrapping up. That's the main news from it. Downtown development approved. Construction starts in spring. Time is 10:19. Let me give you weather. Still 54 degrees but dropping. Clouds are releasing now. Light rain has started. I can hear it on the roof. Steady patter. Temperature will probably dip to around 52 before leveling off. Rain expected to continue through mid-afternoon, then clearing tonight. If you're heading out, you need your umbrella. Roads will be wet. Give yourself extra following distance. This is the first rain we've had in about 2 weeks, so there's oil buildup on the road surfaces. First rain after a dry spell is always the most slippery. Be careful out there. Traffic's good right now. Rain hasn't had time to cause problems yet. Give it an hour and we'll start seeing accidents. Always happens. First rain, people forget how to drive. Emily's handing me more notes. Oh, okay. Update on the market situation. The health department is now saying they want anyone who visited Riverside Market anytime yesterday, Monday, to contact them. They've expanded the time frame significantly. This is beyond the crash this morning. They're now looking at the full day before. That's unusual. The crash was this morning. Why would they care about people who were there yesterday? Unless they're trying to establish a baseline for comparison, or unless they're concerned about something that was at the market before the crash. This is speculation on my part, but the expanding scope is noteworthy. The number to call remains 555-0147. If you were at Riverside Market at any point yesterday, Monday or this morning, Tuesday before 7 a.m., the health department wants to hear from you. Emily says the health department is supposed to be doing a press conference at noon. That's less than 2 hours from now. Maybe we'll get some clarity then. Maybe they'll explain why they're expanding the investigation scope. I don't want to cause alarm, but I also don't want to ignore what appears to be an escalating situation. Something has their attention. Whether it's just bureaucratic thoroughness or genuine concern, we'll find out at the press conference. In the meantime, life goes on, the rain is falling, traffic is moving, the city continues to function. Whatever's happening at the market investigation, it's not affecting daily operations elsewhere. Time is 10:33. You're listening to 104.7 FM with Daniel Rothman. Let me talk about something completely different for a moment. The holiday shopping season is approaching. Thanksgiving is 2 weeks away. Then comes the Black Friday madness. I remember when Thanksgiving was a day to spend with family. Now it's a day to prepare for shopping. Stores open Thursday evening. People line up instead of sitting down for dinner. I don't shop on Black Friday anymore. Haven't in years. Too crowded, too chaotic, too stressful. I do my shopping online or I wait until December when things calm down a bit. The deals on Black Friday aren't as good as they used to be anyway. Retailers have figured out how to manipulate the psychology without actually offering substantial savings. But people love it. The ritual of it. The hunt for bargains. The competition. I understand the appeal even if I don't participate. There's something in human nature that responds to scarcity and competition. Black Friday taps into that. This year will be interesting given the economic conditions. People are stretched thin financially. Inflation has eaten into purchasing power. Will they still come out in force or will this be a quieter shopping season? Retail analysts are watching closely. For the local economy, holiday shopping is crucial. Small businesses especially depend on November and December sales to make their year profitable. If you're going to shop, shop local. Keep money in the community. Support your neighbors. There's a bookstore downtown, independently owned, been there for 30 years. I buy all my books there. Could I get them cheaper online? Sure. But I want that bookstore to still be there next year. I want to walk in and talk to the owner about what I'm reading. I want to browse the shelves and discover things I wouldn't have found in an algorithm's recommendation. Same with the coffee shop on 4th Street. Same with the hardware store on Maple. These places are the fabric of the community. When they close, we lose something more than just convenient shopping. We lose gathering places. We lose human interaction. I sound like I'm preaching. Maybe I am. But I've watched this city change over the decades. I've seen the small businesses struggle against chain stores and online retailers. The ones that survive are the ones that offer something more than just product. They offer experience, relationship, community. Time is 10:49. Rain's coming down steadily now. Temperatures drop to 51 degrees. Roads are wet. We're already getting reports of minor accidents. Fender bender on Route 7 southbound near exit 18. Seems to be cleared quickly. Another one on the Parkway near exit 9. Nobody injured in either case, just sheet metal damage and insurance headaches. Slow down out there. Seriously. Whatever you're rushing to get to, it's not worth an accident. Wet roads require more stopping distance. You can't brake as hard. You can't corner as fast. Physics doesn't negotiate. Emily says Mercy Hospital ER is now asking people to avoid coming in unless absolutely necessary. They're overwhelmed. I don't know if it's flu cases or what, but they're at capacity. If you need medical attention and it's not life-threatening, call your doctor or use urgent care. This seems unusual for a Tuesday morning in November. ER crowding typically happens on weekends and during peak flu season later in winter. Maybe there's something going around. Maybe it's just a statistical anomaly. Random variation happens. Although between the expanded market investigation and the ER crowding, I'm noticing patterns. Could be unrelated. Probably are unrelated. But as someone who's been covering this city for over a decade, I pay attention to patterns. Let me be clear, I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just noting observations. The health department will explain everything at their noon press conference. We'll get answers then. Time is 10:58, almost 11 a.m. Let me give you the hour summary. Locally, Riverside Market remains closed following yesterday. No, this morning's drone crash. I said this morning, health department has expanded investigation scope, asking anyone at the market Monday or early Tuesday morning to contact them at Health Department press conference scheduled for noon. Downtown development project approved. Construction begins spring. Mercy Hospital ER at capacity. Avoid unless emergency. Weather 51 degrees. Rain ongoing through mid-afternoon. High may not reach earlier forecast of 63. Clearing tonight. Traffic. Minor accidents due to wet roads. Overall flow is normal with delays around accident scene. Mayor's press conference about downtown development concluded with announcement of approved project. That's where we are at 11 a.m. You're listening to 104.7 FM. I'm Daniel Rothman. Let me play some music while we wait for noon. I'll be back with the health department press conference. Music played. Time is now 11:32. Rain continues. Temperature holding at 51. Traffic's actually gotten worse in the last half hour. Multiple accidents around the city. People aren't adjusting their driving for conditions. We've got a serious accident on the interstate westbound near mile marker 47. Emergency crews on scene. Right 2 lanes blocked. Major delays. Use alternate routes if possible. Also an accident on Harrison Street near the intersection with 5th. That's going to impact the area around the market even though the market itself is closed. City police are directing traffic. Another accident reported on Riverside Boulevard near the hospital. 3-car collision. Unknown injuries. Ambulance responding. This is what I was talking about. First rain in 2 weeks and people drive like it's dry pavement. It's not. Adjust your speed. Increase your following distance. Turn your headlights on. Basic stuff that apparently needs to be repeated every time it rains. Emily's getting a lot of calls. People want to know about the health department press conference. It's supposed to start at noon. We're 28 minutes away. I'll monitor it and give you the information as soon as it's available. Also getting calls asking about the market vendors. Where are they? What are they doing? Well, they're probably at home or doing follow-up with the health department. The market's closed. They can't work today. Some of them might set up at other markets if those markets have space. But mostly they're just losing a day of income, which is rough for small vendors who depend on daily sales. There's a fund being started to help compensate vendors for lost income. I just saw this come across social media. One of the vendor associations is organizing it. If you want to contribute, I'm sure they'll provide information. Support small businesses when you can. Time is 11:43. Let me check traffic again. Interstate westbound still blocked near mile marker 47. That accident is serious enough that they're diverting traffic off at exit 45. If you're heading west on the interstate, get off at exit 45 and take the surface roads. Route 52 west is your best alternate. Harrison Street and 5th intersection still blocked. Police directing traffic around it. Riverside Boulevard near the hospital, unclear if that's cleared yet. Assume it's still a problem and avoid the area. Multiple other minor accidents being reported around the city. Wet roads are dangerous, please be careful. Weather's not helping. Rain's gotten heavier in the last few minutes. Visibility is reduced. Windshield wipers can barely keep up. This is the kind of rain that makes you want to pull over and wait it out. If you can delay your travel, do so. Let this storm cell pass through. Emily says she's hearing something on the police scanner about an incident at one of the urgent care clinics. People trying to get in clinics at capacity, some kind of disturbance. She's trying to get more information. That's concerning given that we told people to use urgent care instead of the ER. If urgent care is also overwhelmed, where are people supposed to go? This flu season or whatever's happening is hitting hard. Time is 11:51. 9 minutes until the health department press conference. Emily's got the stream ready. We'll listen in and I'll relay the important points to you. While we wait, let me read this email from Susan in Northbrook. Susan says she was at the market Monday afternoon shopping for vegetables. She wants to know if she needs to worry. Susan, the health department has asked people to call them if you were at the market Monday or early Tuesday. The number is 555-0147. I can't tell you whether you need to worry or not. That's for the health department to assess. But if they're asking people to call, you should probably call. Another email from Tom asking about the drone delivery service. Tom, I still don't have information about whether they've suspended operations. The company MedLink Delivery Systems hasn't announced anything publicly as far as I know. If you're expecting a delivery from them, you might want to contact them. Email from Linda asking about schools. Linda, schools are still operating normally. No closures, no changes to schedule. Whatever's happening with the market and the ER crowding, it hasn't affected schools yet. Yet. Interesting word. Why did I say yet? Implying something might happen. I don't know anything. I'm just reading the tea leaves like everyone else. Time is 11:58. 2 minutes until noon. The health department press conference should be starting. All right, Emily's got it on screen. I can see the podium. Someone's setting up microphones. Reporters gathering. Here we go. Time is noon. Someone's stepping to the podium. That's Dr. Sarah Chen, director of the county health department. I've met her a few times at community events. Sharp woman, doesn't mess around. She's starting. Let me listen and I'll summarize the key points for you. Dr. Chen is talking about this morning's drone crash at Riverside Market. She's saying that the drone was carrying experimental transplant tissue from the biomedical research facility on the north side of the city. The tissue was part of an immune system research project. It was being transported to the University Medical Center for testing. The navigation malfunction caused the drone to crash into the market. The containers holding the tissue broke open. The tissue and the fluid it was stored in spilled across multiple vendor stalls. Dr. Chen is saying that the tissue contained a pathogen, an engineered pathogen. She's saying it was dormant in the controlled environment but may have become active when exposed to ambient temperature and conditions. Emily's looking at me. I'm looking at her. This just became significantly more serious. Dr. Chen is continuing. She's saying that as a precautionary measure, anyone who was at the market Monday... Wait, Monday? Why Monday? Oh, she's saying that upon further investigation, they discovered that some of the same tissue had been delivered to the market area the previous day by a different drone. That delivery was successful, but they now believe there may have been minor contamination during the unloading process. So we're looking at potential exposure over 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Anyone at the market during those times needs to contact the health department immediately. She's saying they're setting up a screening center at the Civic Center. People should go there for evaluation. They'll be checking for symptoms and providing information. What symptoms? She's getting to that. She says exposure may result in flu-like symptoms initially, fever, fatigue, muscle aches. Later symptoms might include neurological effects. She's being vague on the details. Reporters are shouting questions. Dr. Chen is raising her hand for quiet. She's saying the pathogen is not airborne. That's important. It requires direct contact with the contaminated material or contact with someone who has been exposed. It's transmissible, but not easily so. She's emphasizing that there's no need for panic. The situation is being managed. They're tracking everyone who was at the market. They're conducting screenings. They're monitoring for symptoms. A reporter asks how many people might have been exposed. Dr. Chen says they're still determining that number. Preliminary estimates suggest possibly 150 to 200 people were at the market Monday. Another 40 to 50 people were there Tuesday morning before the crash. Another reporter asks what the pathogen is. Dr. Chen pauses. She says she can't provide specific details about the pathogen due to the sensitive nature of the research. It was part of a classified medical research project. The details are classified research. Engineered pathogen. This is bad. Dr. Chen is wrapping up. She's giving the Civic Center address for screening. She's repeating the need for anyone at the market to come in. She's saying they'll provide updates as the situation develops. Press conference is ending. Dr. Chen is leaving the podium without taking more questions. The reporters are not happy about that. Time is 12:14 p.m. Let me process what we just heard. An engineered pathogen was being transported by drone. That drone, or a previous one, contaminated Riverside Market over 2 days. 150 to 250 people potentially exposed. The pathogen causes flu-like symptoms and neurological effects. It's transmissible through contact. The health department is setting up screening at the Civic Center. They're tracking exposed individuals. They're monitoring for symptoms. This is no longer a simple cleanup operation. This is a public health incident, potentially a serious one. Emily's on the phone trying to get more information. I'm going to wait to see what she learned. In the meantime, let me give you the facts as we know them. If you are at Riverside Market at any time Monday or Tuesday morning before 7 a.m., you need to go to the Civic Center for screening. The address is 1400 Memorial Drive. The Civic Center is the large building downtown with the parking garage. You can't miss it. If you start experiencing flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, muscle aches, contact your doctor immediately or go to the screening center. The pathogen is not airborne, but it is transmissible through direct contact. Wash your hands frequently. Avoid close contact with people if you think you might have been exposed. The health department says there's no need for panic. I'll repeat that. No need for panic. This situation is being managed by professionals. Follow their guidance. Traffic update. Because life continues. Interstate westbound is still a mess near mile marker 47. Use alternate routes. Surface roads around the city are wet and hazardous. Multiple accidents reported throughout the morning. Weather, rain continuing. 50 degrees. Not expected to clear until later this afternoon. Time is 12:23. Emily's off the phone. What did she learn? She spoke with someone at city administration. They're preparing to open the Civic Center as a screening and possibly treatment facility. Medical personnel are being called in. They're setting up equipment. They expect people to start arriving within the hour. The mayor's office is preparing a statement, should be released soon. Schools have been notified, but no decision yet on whether to close them. They're monitoring the situation. Police department is on heightened alert. They're preparing for potential crowd control needs at the Civic Center and around the market area. Emily also heard from a contact at the biomedical research facility where the tissue originated. That contact, speaking off the record, said the research project involved enhancing immune system response to disease. They were using modified pathogens as a tool to study immune function. The pathogen was supposed to be dormant unless activated in very specific laboratory conditions. They don't understand how it could have become active. That's not reassuring. If the researchers don't understand what happened, how can they fix it? Time is 12:31. Let me read some emails. We're getting flooded with messages. Karen from Eastside says her husband was at the market Monday afternoon. She's asking what she should do. Karen, your husband needs to go to the Civic Center for screening. And you should probably be screened too, since you've been in close contact with him. Take this seriously. Michael from downtown says he works near the market and walks through there on his lunch breaks. He's asking if he's at risk. Michael, if you were in the market area Monday or Tuesday morning, yes, you should be screened. If you just walk past the market on the sidewalk outside, probably not. But when in doubt, go get screened. Rachel is asking if the water supply is safe. Rachel, there's been no indication that the water supply is affected. This was a localized contamination at the market. Drink your water normally. James is asking if he should stock up on food and supplies. James, I don't think that's necessary at this point. Stores are operating normally. Supply chains aren't affected. That said, having some extra food and water at home is never a bad idea in general, but I'm not telling you to panic buy. Time is 12:41. Traffic update. Interstate westbound accident is finally clearing. They've moved the vehicles to the shoulder. Lanes are reopening. Traffic should start flowing within the next 15 minutes, though. Delays will persist for a while. Surface roads are improving as the rain lightens. We're past the heavy cell. It's down to a steady drizzle now. Roads are still wet, but visibility is better. Weather, 50 degrees, rain decreasing to drizzle, should end by mid-afternoon as forecast. Clearing tonight. I'm going to take a moment here to collect my thoughts. This situation has evolved significantly in the last hour. We went from a drone crash cleanup to a public health incident involving an engineered pathogen. That's a big jump. I want to be clear about what we know and what we don't know. We know there was contamination at the market. We know people were potentially exposed. We know the health department is taking it seriously enough to set up a screening center and track down everyone who was there. We don't know exactly what this pathogen does beyond causing flu-like symptoms and vague neurological effects. We don't know how easily it spreads. We don't know if there's a treatment. We don't know how many people might actually be infected versus just exposed. The health department says no need to panic. I'm choosing to believe that. They're the experts. They have information we don't have. If the situation warranted a broader alarm, they would raise it. But I'm also not going to pretend this isn't concerning. An engineered pathogen loose in the community, even a contained release, is serious. The fact that it was part of classified research makes it more worrying because we don't know what we're dealing with. So here's my advice. Stay informed. Follow the guidance from health authorities. If you were at the market, go get screened. If you develop symptoms, seek medical attention. Otherwise, continue your day normally, but stay alert. Emily's handing me something. The mayor's statement is out. The mayor is calling for calm. She's emphasizing that the health department has the situation under control. She's asking residents to cooperate with screening efforts. She's announced that the city is activating its Emergency Operations Center as a precautionary measure. The EOC will coordinate response efforts and provide centralized information. The mayor also says she's been in contact with the governor's office. State health resources are being made available if needed. The National Guard has been notified but not activated. National Guard, that's a word that makes people nervous, but it's standard procedure to notify them during any potential emergency. Doesn't mean they'll be deployed. It means they're aware and ready if needed. The mayor's statement concludes by thanking the community for their cooperation and promising transparency as the situation develops. Time is 12:56, almost 1 p.m. Let me give you the afternoon summary. Major development in the Riverside Market situation. Health Department press conference revealed that the drone crash involved experimental transplant tissue containing an engineered pathogen. The pathogen contaminated the market over 2 days, Monday and Tuesday. Estimated 150 to 250 people potentially exposed. Anyone at Riverside Market Monday or early Tuesday morning must go to the Civic Center at 1400 Memorial Drive for screening. Symptoms to watch for include fever, fatigue, muscle aches, and neurological effects. Pathogen is not airborne, but transmissible through direct contact. Mayor has activated Emergency Operations Center. State resources on standby. National Guard notified but not activated. The schools remain open. Most city services operating normally. Weather, 50 degrees, rain decreasing to drizzle. Should clear by mid-afternoon. Traffic, interstate westbound delays clearing. surface roads improving as rain decreases. This is 104.7 FM. I'm Daniel Rothman. Stay with us for update. Let me play some music and then we'll check back in. Music played. Time is now 1:27 p.m. Rain has stopped. Clouds breaking up. Sun trying to come through. Temperature up to 52. Traffic's back to normal levels. The accidents have been cleared. Roads are drying. Everything's flowing well. Emily says the Civic Center is getting crowded. People are lining up for screening. Apparently the line is already out the door and around the building. They're trying to process people as quickly as possible, but with potentially 200 plus people to screen, it's going to take hours. Medical personnel have been called in from multiple facilities. They're setting up additional screening stations to increase capacity. Police are managing the crowd, keeping things orderly. We're hearing reports that some people are having trouble getting through to the health department phone line. It's overwhelmed with calls. If you can't get through by phone, just go directly to the Civic Center. Also, Mercy Hospital has announced they're setting up a secondary screening location in their main parking structure. This is to handle overflow from the Civic Center and to separate potentially exposed people from general ER patients. Smart move. Time is 1:35. Email from Jennifer asking about her kids' school. Jennifer, schools are open. No announcements about closures. If that changes, we'll let you know immediately. I would imagine schools are sending notifications to parents about the situation and what to watch for. Check your email and your school's communication system. Email from Robert asking about his job. He works at an office near the market. He's wondering if he should go to work. Robert, if you weren't actually at the market, there's no reason to avoid work. But if you're feeling unwell or concerned, it's understandable to stay home. Check with your employer. Email from David saying he's stocking up on supplies just in case. David, that's your choice. I'm not telling people to do that, but I'm not telling them not to either. Use your judgment. The thing is, once you tell people there's a situation, even if you also tell them not to panic, some people will panic. That's human nature. Fear is contagious. Probably more contagious than whatever pathogen we're dealing with. I remember the COVID pandemic, the toilet paper shortages, the fights in grocery stores, the paranoia. Fear makes people irrational. I hope we don't see that here. This is a localized incident. There's no reason for mass panic, but I also understand why people are nervous. Engineered pathogen are scary words. Classified research makes it sound sinister. Even if it was legitimate medical research with good intentions, the fact that it's now loose causes concern. Time is 1:47. Let me check news from other sources. Emily's got the local TV news streaming on her computer. Channel 7 has a reporter at the Civic Center showing the lines. People look anxious but orderly. The reporter is interviewing someone who was at the market Monday. Woman says she didn't know anything was wrong until she saw the news today. She feels fine but came to get checked out to be safe. Responsible behavior. Channel 4 has a reporter at the Biomedical Research Facility. The facility is not commenting beyond a prepared statement expressing concern and promising cooperation with investigators. The facility has high security, fences, guards, looks very official and secret. Doesn't help with the anxiety. Channel 9 has a reporter at City Hall talking about the Emergency Operations Center. Mayor's Chief of Staff is giving a brief interview saying they're prepared for any contingency. All emergency protocols are activated. Multi-agency coordination in place. Standard crisis management language. National news hasn't picked this up yet. It's still a local story. Might stay that way if it's contained. Or it might explode into a national story if things get worse. Time will tell. Time is 1:58, almost 2 p.m. Let me give you the update. Screening underway at Civic Center and Mercy Hospital parking structure. Long lines reported. If you need screening, expect significant wait times. Bring water, maybe a snack. Dress for the weather since you'll be outside in line. No new announcements from health department since the noon press conference. They're focused on screening and data gathering right now. Schools remain open. Mayor has activated Emergency Operations Center. City services functioning normally. Weather improving, clouds breaking up, temperature 52 and rising. Should reach high 50s by late afternoon. Traffic normal throughout the city. This is 104.7 FM. I'm Daniel Rothman. We're staying on top of this situation. More music and then we'll continue monitoring developments. Music played. Time is now 2:31 p.m. Temperatures up to 55. Partly cloudy, nice afternoon developing despite the circumstances. Emily says we're getting reports from the screening centers. Some people are being sent home with clearance. Others are being asked to quarantine at home and monitor for symptoms. A small number are being transported to the hospital for observation. That last part is noteworthy. If people are being hospitalized, that suggests some of them are showing symptoms already. Or maybe they have pre-existing conditions that make them higher risk. Hard to know without more information. The health department hasn't released any numbers on how many people have been screened or what percentage are being cleared versus quarantined versus hospitalized. They're probably still gathering data. Email from Susan asking what quarantine means. Susan, in this context, it means staying home, avoiding contact with others, monitoring yourself for symptoms. They'll give you specific instructions when you're screened. Usually it's something like stay home for 48-72 hours, take your temperature twice a day, call if you develop symptoms. Standard quarantine protocol. Email from Tom asking how long symptoms take to appear. Tom, I don't know. The health department didn't give that information. Could be hours, could be days. That's part of what they're trying to figure out. Email from Linda asking about pets. Linda, I haven't heard anything about animals being affected. This seems to be a human pathogen. But I'm not a veterinarian or epidemiologist. If you're concerned about your pets, call your vet. Time is 2:43. Traffic update. Everything's normal. Weather's nice now. Roads are dry. No problems to report. You know, in some ways I envy you. You can turn off this radio. You can stop thinking about this situation. You can go about your afternoon doing whatever you had planned. I'm stuck here. It's my job to stay informed, to monitor developments, to keep you updated. I've been doing this for 6.5 hours now. I'll be here for several more. This is a day where being a broadcaster means sitting in this chair, drinking bad coffee, refreshing news feeds, and trying to make sense of incomplete information. Not complaining. This is what I signed up for. This is the job. On most days, it's traffic and weather and community announcements. On days like today, it's more. It's being a steady voice during uncertainty. It's providing information without causing panic. It's being honest about what we know and what we don't know. I hope I'm doing that. I hope you feel informed but not terrified. I hope you're taking appropriate precautions without overreacting. That's the balance I'm trying to strike. Time is 2:25. Emily's on the phone again. She's nodding, taking notes. Looks serious. She's off the phone. What did she learn? Emily spoke with a nurse at Mercy Hospital. Off the record, obviously. The nurse says the ER is chaos. They've had multiple people come in with symptoms, fever, confusion, aggression. Some of them are violent. Security's been called several times. They're trying to isolate these patients, but they're overwhelmed. That's concerning. Violent behavior is not typical flu symptoms. That's the neurological effects Dr. Chen mentioned. That's the pathogen affecting the brain. Emily's nurse contact says the doctors are trying to determine treatment protocol, but they don't know what they're dealing with. The biomedical research facility sent over some information, but it's not enough. They're basically treating symptoms and hoping for the best. How many people are we talking about? Emily asked that. The nurse said at least a dozen patients with clear symptoms, another 24 under observation, and more coming in. 36 people from an exposure pool of 200. That's a high infection rate. Or maybe these are just the people showing symptoms quickly. Maybe others will show symptoms later. Or maybe many were exposed but not infected. Time is 3 or I need to report this, but I also don't want to cause panic. Let me think about how to phrase it. Okay, we're receiving reports that Mercy Hospital is treating multiple patients showing symptoms consistent with exposure to the pathogen from the market incident. Symptoms include fever and neurological effects. The hospital is managing the situation. Medical personnel are working to determine appropriate treatment. If you are experiencing symptoms, particularly fever combined with confusion or unusual behavior, seek medical attention immediately. Call ahead if possible so they can prepare for your arrival. That's factual without being alarmist, I think. Emily's shaking her head. She's saying I should be more direct. People need to know this is serious. Maybe she's right. Let me add this. Look, I'm going to be straight with you. The situation is more serious than the official statements suggest. We're hearing that hospital patients are exhibiting violent behavior, security incidents at the ER. This pathogen affects the brain. That makes it dangerous not just to those infected, but potentially to those around them. If you have a family member who was at the market and is starting to act strangely, get them to the hospital. Don't wait. And be careful. I don't want to scare you, but I want you to be safe. Time is 3:17. Emily says the police scanner is busy. Multiple calls about disturbances, fights, aggressive behavior, locations scattered around the city. Could be normal Tuesday afternoon incidents. Could be related to the pathogen. Hard to know. I'm going to call the mayor's office, see if I can get someone to give me a straight answer about what's happening. Emily's calling now. She's on hold. City Hall is probably swamped. While we wait, traffic update. Everything's still normal. Weather's nice. Temperature up to 57. Partly sunny. Evening should be clear and cool. Strange to talk about weather when we're discussing brain-affecting pathogens and violent behavior. But the weather doesn't care about human problems. The sun shines regardless. Emily's talking to someone. She's asking direct questions. What's the real status? How many infected? What are the symptoms? How dangerous is this? She's being stonewalled. They're saying the official information is accurate. No reason for heightened concern. Situation under control. Standard line. She's pushing back. She's mentioning the hospital reports. The person on the other end is saying they can't confirm unofficial reports. They're advising reliance on official channels only. Emily's frustrated. She hung up. She says they're not being honest. They're downplaying it. That's when institutions start losing credibility. When people can see with their own eyes that something's wrong, but officials keep saying everything's fine. It creates distrust. It makes people panic more because they feel like they're not getting truth. Time is 3:29. I'm going to make a decision here. I'm going to report what we're hearing, unofficial sources and all, because I think you deserve to know. Here's what we're gathering from multiple sources. The pathogen from the market is causing infections. Infected individuals are developing symptoms relatively quickly, within hours for some. Symptoms start with fever and flu-like signs but progress to neurological effects including confusion, aggression, and violent behavior. Hospitals are struggling to manage infected patients. Resources are stretched. Medical personnel don't have clear treatment protocols. Official sources are downplaying the severity. That might be to prevent panic, or it might be because they don't yet understand the full scope. We don't know how many people are infected. We don't know how the disease progresses. We don't know if it's treatable. We don't know how easily it spreads from person to person. What we do know is this is serious. If you are at the market, get screened if you haven't already. If you develop symptoms, seek help immediately. If someone you know is acting strangely after market exposure, get them help and keep yourself safe. I'm not trying to cause panic. I'm trying to give you information so you can make informed decisions. That's my job. Time is 3. Emily's monitoring social media. People are posting about their experiences at the screening centers. Long waits. Lots of people being told to quarantine. Some people being taken away in ambulances. One post says the Civic Center ran out of supplies and had to call for more. Another post says they're turning people away and telling them to go to the hospital screening site instead. Another says the hospital site is also overwhelmed. This is more than 200 people. This is spreading beyond the initial exposure. Either that or far more people were exposed than estimated. Or, and I hate to think this, maybe it's spreading person to person more easily than they thought. Dr. Chen said it's not airborne, said it requires direct contact. But if infected people are having violent episodes making physical contact with others, that could spread it. Someone gets violent at the screening center. Struggles with staff gets exposed. Staff goes home, exposes family. It cascades. I don't know if that's happening. I'm speculating, but the numbers seem to be growing faster than a contained exposure would suggest. Time is 3:47. Let me try to reach the health department directly. Emily's calling. She's asking for Dr. Chen or anyone who can provide an update. She's on hold. They're overwhelmed too, apparently. While she waits, let me read more emails. We're getting hundreds at this point. Mark from Riverside asking if he should leave the city. Mark, I don't think we're at that point. This is still a localized situation. Leaving might actually increase risk if you're carrying the pathogen somewhere else. Angela asking about protective measures. Angela, wash your hands frequently. Avoid touching your face. Avoid contact with people who seem unwell. Basic hygiene. If you want to wear a mask, that wouldn't hurt even though it's supposedly not airborne. Carlos asking about medication. Carlos, I don't know of any specific medication for this. Hospitals are treating symptoms. If there's a cure or treatment, they haven't announced it. Emily's still on hold. This isn't working. We're not going to get information this way. Time is 3:58, almost 4 p.m. Let me give you the hour summary. Riverside market pathogen situation continues to develop. Multiple patients at Mercy Hospital showing symptoms including fever and neurological effects manifesting as aggression and violence. Screening centers at Civic Center and hospital parking structure overwhelmed with people seeking evaluation. Long wait times reported. Police responding to multiple disturbance calls around the city. Unknown how many are pathogen related. Official sources maintain situation is under control. Unofficial reports suggest growing crisis. If you are at market Monday or Tuesday morning, get screened if possible. If experiencing symptoms, seek medical care immediately and call ahead. Weather clear. Temperature 57. Traffic normal. This is 1004.7 FM. I'm Daniel Rothman. We're continuing coverage. Emily just said something. She says her friend, who works at one of the TV stations, just texted, the station is evacuating. Someone there started showing symptoms, got violent, attacked a coworker before security subdued them. They're shutting down and sending everyone home. That's a TV station. Major media outlet. If they're evacuating, this is bad. Emily's phone is ringing. She's answering. She's listening. Eyes getting wider. She's off the phone. That was her sister. Her sister works at the courthouse downtown. Same thing happening there. Employees started acting strange, got aggressive. They had to lock them in a room. Buildings being evacuated. This is happening simultaneously at multiple locations. This isn't contained. Time is 4:11. My hands are shaking. I need to stay calm. You need me to stay calm. Okay. Deep breath. Let me report what we know. Multiple locations around the city are reporting incidents of people exhibiting aggressive, violent behavior. This appears to be related to the pathogen exposure. The behavior manifests suddenly, escalates quickly. If you encounter someone acting strangely or aggressively, keep your distance. Do not try to restrain or help them yourself. Call 911. Keep yourself safe. If you were at the market, even if you feel fine, consider self-isolating at home as a precaution. Avoid contact with others. This situation is evolving rapidly. Stay tuned for update. Emily's computer just showed a breaking news alert. Channel 7 is reporting, they're reporting multiple violent incidents across the city. They're calling it a mass casualty event. They're advising people to shelter in place. Shelter in place. That's the instruction when there's imminent danger. Stay inside, lock doors, don't go out. Time is 4:18. I need to get more information before I tell everyone to shelter in place. That's a major step. I need confirmation. Emily's trying to pull up other news sources. Channel 4's website is down, probably overwhelmed with traffic. Channel 9 is showing the same breaking news about violent incidents. The police scanner is continuous chatter now. Units responding all over the city. Assaults, disturbances, requests for backup. I've never heard it this busy. Emily's phone is ringing again. She's answering. It's her husband. He's at home. He's saying the neighborhood is crazy. People running in the streets. Someone tried to break into their house. He's locked all the doors and windows. Emily's crying. She wants to go home to her family. I don't blame her. I tell her to go. She should go. I can manage here. She's gathering her stuff. She's leaving. I'm alone in the studio now. Time is 4. This is Daniel Rothman. I'm staying on air. I'll keep broadcasting as long as I can. If you're listening, please listen carefully. Multiple reports of violent behavior across the city. These appear to be people infected with the pathogen from the market incident. The infection causes neurological changes leading to aggression. Police are responding, but they're overwhelmed. Emergency services are overwhelmed. The safest thing you can do right now is stay inside. Lock your doors and windows. Do not open the door for anyone unless you're absolutely certain who it is. If someone tries to break in, call 911 and defend yourself if necessary. If you're not home, get home safely and quickly. Use your car if you have it. Avoid crowded areas. Do not stop to help people you don't know. I know that sounds callous, but your safety is paramount. If you're with family, stay together. Check on each other. Make sure everyone's okay. If someone in your household starts showing symptoms, particularly aggression or confusion, try to isolate them in a room if possible. This is incredibly difficult, I know, but for everyone's safety. Time is 4:33. I'm getting reports from multiple sources now. Social media is exploding. People posting videos of attacks, of infected people acting like, I don't even know how to describe it, mindless rage, attacking anyone near them. The infection spreads through bites, through scratches, through any fluid contact, and infected people are biting others. The pattern is clear. Person gets infected, shows symptoms hours later, becomes violent, attacks others, spreads the infection. Those people become violent. Exponential spread. This is a zombie scenario. I hate to use that word because it sounds ridiculous, movies and TV shows, but that's what this looks like. The pathogen turns people violent and aggressive, and they spread it to others through physical attack. How did this happen? How did an engineered pathogen designed for medical research turn into this? What went wrong at that facility? Time is 4:41. The police scanner just announced that officers are authorized to use force to subdue aggressive individuals. That's a significant escalation. They're treating infected people as threats. I can see out the studio window, the street below, there's someone running, someone chasing them. Oh God, the chaser caught them, they're attacking. I need to look away. I'm on the 3rd floor. The building is locked normally, but I should check. Let me go check the doors. I'm back. Studio door is locked. The main building entrance requires keycard access. I should be safe here for now. I have water. There's a vending machine down the hall if I need food. I can stay here. Time is 4:49. I should call my daughter. She lives across the state. She needs to know what's happening here. She needs to know I'm okay. Phone's ringing. She's answering. Dad? Sarah, hi. I'm okay. I'm at the station. I'm safe. Dad, we're seeing news reports. What's happening there? It's bad, Sarah. There's an infection. It's spreading fast. People are getting violent. The city's falling apart. You need to leave. Get out of there. I can't. Streets aren't safe. I'm better off staying here. Dad? Sarah, listen. I need you to promise me something. Don't come here. Don't try to help. Stay where you are. Keep yourself safe. Promise me. I promise. Dad, I love you. I love you too, honey. I'm going to keep broadcasting. People need information. But I wanted you to know I'm okay. Be careful. I will. I'll call you when I can. I hung up. My daughter's safe. That's what matters. Time is 4:58, almost 5 p.m. Let me give you an update. Though if you're still listening, you probably know the situation. The pathogen from Riverside Market has infected numerous people across the city. Infected individuals become violently aggressive and attack others, spreading the infection through bites and physical contact. The infection is spreading rapidly. Emergency services are overwhelmed. Police and hospitals cannot respond to all calls. Official advice is shelter in place. Stay inside, lock doors, avoid contact with anyone showing symptoms of aggression or confusion. I'm staying on air from the studio. I'll provide updates as I can. Stay safe out there. Time is 5:06. It's been 11 hours since this day started. 11 hours since I talked about traffic and weather and a drone crash at a market. Seems like a lifetime ago. The sun's getting lower. It'll be dark in a few hours. I don't want to think about what happens when it's dark. Infected people roaming the streets in darkness, people trapped in their homes, the city without power if the grid goes down. Will the power stay on? That depends on whether power plant workers stay at their posts or flee, whether automated systems keep running, whether any infected people reach critical infrastructure. I should assume power might go out. I should prepare for that. There are flashlights in the supply closet, battery-powered equipment. The station has backup generators, but I don't know how to operate them. That's engineering's job. Where's the engineering staff? Probably went home hours ago. Time is 5:17. I'm hearing helicopters looking out the window. Multiple helicopters. News helicopters probably flying over the city, capturing footage of the chaos below. No, wait, those are military helicopters. Large transport helicopters. National Guard must be deploying. Finally, will it help? Can they contain this? How do you contain an infection that spreads through violence and infected people don't discriminate in who they attack? You'd need to quarantine the entire city, prevent anyone from leaving, set up perimeters, screen everyone, isolate infected individuals. Massive undertaking. Is it even possible at this stage? Time is 5:26. Police scanner just announced that officers are pulling back to defensive positions. They're abandoning patrols. They're focusing on protecting key facilities and themselves. That means most of the city is undefended. People are on their own. If infected people come to your neighborhood, police probably won't respond. You're your own protection. I don't want to tell people to arm themselves. That feels irresponsible. But I also want people to survive. If you have the means to defend your home, now would be the time to prepare. Baseball bats, kitchen knives, anything. I never thought I'd be saying this on air. Time is 5:34. Social media posts are showing the National Guard setting up roadblocks on the highways, leaving the city. Nobody's allowed to leave. The city is quarantined. That's the right move to prevent spread, but it means everyone inside is trapped with the infection, trapped with the infected. How many people are infected now? Hundreds? Thousands? Exponential growth is terrifying. Every infected person attacks others. Those others become infected and attack others. The numbers double and double again. By midnight, there could be tens of thousands. The city has 340,000 people. If this continues unchecked, how many will be infected by morning? How many will be left uninfected? Time is 5:43. I need to think about survival, not just tonight, but long term. How long can I stay in this studio? I have water from the cooler, food from the vending machine, maybe a day's worth. No way to cook. Bathroom works. Heat works for now. If I ration carefully, I could last a few days. But then what? Eventually I need to leave. Find more supplies. Find other survivors. Find safety. Where is safe? Government emergency bunkers somewhere. Military bases. Anywhere with walls and armed guards. But those places won't let in random civilians. They'll protect essential personnel and their families. Regular people like me are on our own. Maybe I should try to make it home. My apartment is across town, 20-minute drive normally. Now, could take hours, could be impossible. Streets full of infected, abandoned cars, chaos. Or I stay here, wait it out. Hope that the military gets control. Hope that they find a cure or treatment. Hope that the infected eventually die off or become manageable. Hope time is 5:52. The sun is setting. The sky is orange and purple. Beautiful sunset. Strange how beauty persists even during catastrophe. Nature doesn't care about human suffering. I remember reading about people during historical disasters. Plagues, wars, famines. Life went on. Not for everyone. Not unchanged. But it went on. Humans are resilient. We survive. We adapt. We rebuild. Will we survive this? I don't know. This is different. This is an engineered pathogen. This is modern science gone wrong. This is our own creation turning against us. There's a Greek myth about that. Pandora's box. Curiosity unleashing evils into the world. All the suffering and disease and death that humans experience, released because someone couldn't resist opening the box, was the biomedical research facility. Pandora's box. Was the engineer who created this pathogen Pandora? Did they know what they were creating? Did they understand the risk? I'm not a Luddite. I believe in scientific progress. Medical research saves lives. But this is the cost of playing with forces we don't fully understand. And we're all paying the price. Time is 6:02 p.m. It's dark now. The city lights are on. Buildings illuminated. Street lights glowing. Looks normal from up here. But I know what's happening down there in those streets. I can see fires starting in the distance. Buildings burning. Whether it's infected people causing damage, or survivors trying to defend themselves, or just accidents in the chaos. I don't know. But fire's spreading. Nobody to put them out. Fire department isn't responding to calls. If the fire spread, if they reach this building, I'll have to leave. Trapped between fire and infected, not a choice I want to make. Time is 6:11. I should eat something. Keep my strength up. I'll go raid the vending machine. I'm back. Got chips, candy bars, bottled water. Not nutritious, but it's calories. That's what matters now. The hallway was dark and quiet. Unsettling. This building is usually busy. People coming and going. Radio shows running all day and night. Now it's just me. Everyone else is gone. I wonder how many of them made it home safely. How many are trapped somewhere? How many are infected? I know these people, cow workers for years, friends. Now I might never see them again. Time is 6:23. The police scanner has gotten quieter, fewer calls. Either things are calming down or officers have stopped responding. I suspect the latter. Every system we depend on is failing. Police can't maintain order. Hospitals can't treat the sick. Fire department can't fight fires. Government can't govern. It's all collapsing in real time. How long before power goes out? How long before water stops flowing? How long before food supplies run out? Modern cities are fragile. We depend on complex systems. When those systems fail, cities become death traps. Time is 6:34. I'm looking at my hands. They're still shaking. I've been running on adrenaline all day. 11 plus hours of continuous broadcasting. I'm exhausted, mentally and physically, but I can't stop. As long as someone's listening, I'll keep talking. This might be the only information source people have. Radio doesn't need internet or cable, just power and a receiver. As long as transmitter's working, I'm on air. How many people are still listening? How many are hiding in their homes with a radio on, listening to my voice, finding comfort in the familiar? I hope I'm helping. I hope I'm not making things worse with my commentary. Time is 6:45. Emily hasn't called back. I hope she's okay. I hope she made it home to her family. She's a good person, kind, hardworking. She deserves to survive this. Everyone deserves to survive this, but not everyone will. That's the reality. This infection, this outbreak, whatever we call it, it's going to kill a lot of people, either through infection or through the collapse of society. Starvation, disease, violence, all the ways humans die when civilization fails. I'm being morbid. I should stop. But it's hard not to be dark when the world is ending outside your window. Is the world ending? Maybe just this city. Maybe the military will contain it here, quarantine the city, wait for the infected to die, then move in and clean up. Sacrifice one city to save the rest. Would that work? Can you really contain something like this? Or will it spread beyond the quarantine? Infected people breaking through, Soldiers getting infected and taking it elsewhere. It only takes one. Time is 6:05 and almost 7 p.m. 12 hours since I started this morning. Usually I'd be home by now. Dinner, TV, bed, normal life. That's over. Normal ended today. Whatever comes next, it won't be normal. It'll be survival, adaptation, a new way of living, if we survive. Time is 7:08. The fires are spreading. I can see more of them now. Orange glows scattered across the city, smoke rising. The wind will push the fires. They'll consume building after building. No one to stop them. This city has been here for 78 years. Survived wars, depressions, floods, storms. Will it survive this, or will it burn tonight? Will morning show a destroyed city, buildings reduced to ash, streets empty except for the infected? Time is 7:19. I'm thinking about history. How future people will look back on today. If there are future people, will they study this in schools? The day of the pathogen, the great outbreak, the collapse. Will they blame the scientists who created the pathogen, the company that transported it carelessly, the city officials who didn't respond fast enough? Or will they just mark it as tragedy, unavoidable, a terrible accident? Accidents have consequences. This accident's consequence is the destruction of a city and the death of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people. That's a heavy accident. Time is 7:31. I just realized something. I don't know if anyone's still listening. The transmitter could have failed, the power could have gone out, and I wouldn't know immediately. I could be talking to myself. Is anyone out there? If you're listening, if you can hear me, know that you're not alone. I'm here. I'm still broadcasting. As long as I can, I'll be here. Time is 7:42. There's a sound. Downstairs. Something banged. Could be the wind. Could be the building settling. Could be something else. I'm going to lock the studio door. Already locked, but I'll check. Make sure it's secure. It's locked. Deadbolt engaged. The door is solid. Metal frame. It should hold. Should. That's a word doing a lot of work right now. Time is 7:53. The sound again. Definitely inside the building. Someone's down there, or something. I need to be quiet. If infected people are in the building, I don't want them to find me. Sound attracts them. Movement attracts them. I need to be still and silent. But I'm broadcasting. My voice is going out over the air. They can't hear that. Can they? No, that's ridiculous. They'd need a radio. Infected people aren't operating radio. Still. I should whisper, just in case. Time is 8:04. I'm whispering now. I don't know if you can hear me clearly. I'm trying to stay quiet. The sounds are getting closer. Footsteps in the hallway. Slow shuffling footsteps. Someone's out there. I'm turning off the lights in the studio. Don't want light showing under the door. I'll use the emergency light from the equipment. Just enough to see what I'm doing. Time is 8:16. The footsteps stopped right outside the door. I can hear breathing. Heavy, ragged breathing. Someone's trying the door handle. It's rattling. The deadbolt is holding. Pounding on the door now. Fists or hands. Pounding hard. The door is shaking but holding. I'm backed into the corner of the studio, as far from the door as I can get. I have a chair. If they get through, I'll use the chair as a weapon. It's all I have. Time is 8:27. The pounding stopped. The breathing faded. They moved on. Whoever or whatever it was, they're gone. I'm breathing again. I didn't realize I was holding my breath. That was close. Too close. They're in the building. I'm not safe here. But I'm not safe anywhere. Time is 8. I need to make a plan. I can't stay here indefinitely. Eventually I'll run out of food and water. Eventually the power will fail. Eventually more infected will find their way in. I need to think about escaping, about finding a better shelter, about finding other survivors. But not tonight. Tonight I stay here. I keep broadcasting. I keep hope. Time is 8:51. It's been over 13 hours. I'm exhausted. I want to sleep. But I'm afraid to sleep. Afraid I won't wake up. Afraid something will happen while I'm unconscious. Coffee. I need more coffee. It'll keep me alert. I'll drink the terrible coffee and I'll stay awake and I'll keep talking to whoever's listening. Time is 9:03. The city is burning. I can see it clearly now in the darkness. Fires everywhere. Entire neighborhoods engulfed. The smoke is thick. It's probably affecting air quality. People trapped in the city are breathing smoke. Another way to die. How many ways can you die in an apocalypse? Infection, violence, fire, smoke inhalation, starvation, dehydration, exposure, disease, injury without medical care. So many ways. Survival requires avoiding all of them. The odds aren't good. Time is 9:16. I'm thinking about the scientists who created this pathogen. What are they doing right now? Are they hiding? Are they infected? Are they dead? Do they feel guilty? Do they understand what they've done? Or do they rationalize it as an accident, unforeseeable, not their fault? I want to believe people take responsibility for their actions. But history shows otherwise. People justify, they compartmentalize, they blame circumstances, anything to avoid the weight of guilt. Maybe that's necessary. Maybe if you fully accepted responsibility for something like this, it would crush you. Maybe delusion is a survival mechanism. Time is 9:29. Radio still working? Transmitters still sending signal? I'm still here, still talking, still breathing. That's victory, isn't it? In this situation, survival is victory. Every hour I last is a win. Every minute, small victories. That's what I'll focus on. I survived the last hour, I'll survive the next one, then the one after that. Hour by hour until morning. Morning seems so far away. Time is 9:41. I'm hearing helicopters again, military helicopters overhead. What are they doing? Surveillance, supply drops? Evacuation of VIPs? Or are they just observing, watching the city die from above? If they're evacuating people, they're not evacuating me. I'm not important enough. I'm not connected enough. I'm just a radio host. Disposable. But my voice reaches people. That counts for something, doesn't it? Time is 9:54. Almost 10 p.m. 14 hours since this started. 14 hours since I cheerfully talked about traffic and weather and community events. That Daniel Rothman is gone. This Daniel Rothman is different. Changed by what I've seen and heard today. Trauma changes people. This is trauma. Collective trauma. Everyone in this city who survives tonight will be changed. PTSD, survivor's guilt, grief, fear. We'll carry this forever. If there's a forever. If tomorrow comes. Time is 10:07. I need to use the bathroom. Simple human needs don't stop during apocalypse. I'll be quick. Leave the microphone on. If anyone's listening, you'll hear silence for a minute. I'll be back. Back, everything's fine. The building's quiet. No signs of infected on this floor. I'm still alone. Alone. That's a strange feeling. I've been alone in the studio many times. Night shifts, early mornings. But this is different. This isn't chosen solitude. This is isolation by necessity. This is loneliness born of fear. Time is 10:19. My phone's dying. Battery at 10%. I should save it, turn it off, reserve it for emergency. But what's an emergency at this point? Everything's an emergency. Nothing's an emergency. The word loses meaning. I'm turning it off. If Sarah tries to call, I won't answer. I hope she understands. I hope she's okay. I hope her part of the state is unaffected. I hope this stays contained. Hope. I keep using that word. It's all I have. Time is 10:32. The fires are still burning. Some of them might burn all night. Some might burn for days. The city will be scarred. Even if we somehow stop the infection, the physical damage is done. Buildings destroyed. Infrastructure damaged. Years to rebuild. If we rebuild, maybe this city dies. Maybe it becomes a ghost town. A warning. A monument to what happens when science goes wrong. Tourists in future years coming to see the ruins, walking through empty streets, imagining what happened here. Time is 10:45. I'm cold. The heat's still on, but I'm cold. Shock maybe, or exhaustion. My body's running on empty. I need rest, but I can't rest. Not yet. Keep talking, keep broadcasting. That's my job. Job. Money. Career. Those concepts seem absurd now. I'm not getting paid for this. The station probably doesn't exist as a functioning business anymore. But I keep working. Because it's what I do. Because it gives me purpose. Because stopping means accepting defeat. Time is 10:58. Almost 11 p.m. 15 hours. I need to make it to midnight. Then I need to make it to 1 a.m. Then 2. Then 3. Then dawn. Dawn? At what, 6:30 this time of year? That's 7.5 more hours. I can do 7.5 hours. Can I? I'm so tired. My eyes are heavy. My thoughts are sluggish. The coffee's not helping anymore. I'm beyond caffeine's ability to sustain. But I'll try. I'll keep trying. Because what else is there? Time is 11:11. Make a wish. That's what people say. 11:11, make a wish. Silly superstition. But I'll try. I wish for survival. I wish for dawn. I wish for hope. Did it work? Wishes don't work. But it felt good to try. To pretend for a moment that things could be influenced by wanting them. Time is 11:24. Social media has gone quiet. Either people stopped posting or the networks are failing. I can't load anything. Just endless spinning. The internet might be dying. Too many systems failing at once. If the internet's gone, radio becomes critical. Maybe even more important. Old technology surviving when new technology fails. There's a lesson there. Simple often beats complex in crisis. Time is 11:37. I'm looking at the street below. There's movement. Groups of infected wandering. They move in packs now. Must be a behavior the pathogen causes. Safety in numbers even for mindless infected people. Instinct buried deep. They're not mindless though, are they? They can open doors. They hunt. They attack strategically sometimes from what I've seen in videos. The pathogen doesn't destroy the brain, it reprograms it. Makes them aggressive and violent but maintains basic function. That makes them more dangerous. Smart enough to be threats, not smart enough to be reasoned with. Time is 9 minutes to midnight. I'll make it to midnight. That's one goal achieved. Small victory. Then I'll set a new goal. Make it to 1 a.m., and so on. Hour by hour. This is how you survive. Small goals. Achievable steps. Don't think about days or weeks. Think about the next hour. The next minute. Right now, I'm alive. Next minute I'll still be alive. That's all that matters. Time is midnight. I made it. 16 hours. I've been awake for, God, I don't even know, since 4 a.m. when I woke up this morning. 20 hours awake? No wonder I'm exhausted. I can't sleep though. Too dangerous. I need to stay alert. Stay aware. Stay alive. Time is 12:14 a.m. Wednesday morning now. Technically, a new day. Will it be better than Tuesday? Hard to imagine how it could be worse, but I've learned not to assume things can't get worse. They can always get worse. The fires are still burning, the infected are still roaming, the city is still dying. Nothing's changed except the date on the calendar. And that's arbitrary. Time is arbitrary. It's a human construct. The universe doesn't care what we call this moment. I'm getting philosophical. That happens when you're sleep deprived and traumatized. The mind wanders, seeks meaning where there might be none. Maybe there is no meaning. Maybe this is just chaos. Random tragedy. Shit happens, but we need meaning. Humans need to believe things happen for reasons. That there's a pattern, a plan. Even a cruel plan is better than randomness. Randomness means we have no control, no ability to prevent or predict. Just dice rolls determining who lives and dies. Time is 12:29. I'm hearing a sound, scratching, like nails on metal. It's coming from the ventilation system. Something's in the vents. Could infected people climb into vents? Could they navigate the ductwork? I don't know. In movies they do. But this isn't a movie. This is real. The scratching continues. It's moving, getting closer to my vent. The studio vent is on the ceiling. I'm looking up at it. The grate is screwed in place, solid. But if something's determined enough, I need to block it. I'm stacking equipment under the vent, making a barrier. If something comes through, it'll hit the equipment first. Give me warning. Give me time to react. Time is 12:43. The scratching stopped. Whatever it was, it moved on. Or it died in the vents. Or it was never there. Could have been my imagination. Paranoia. When you're this scared, you hear things that aren't there. Or maybe it was there and I got lucky. Luck is survival sometimes. Being in the right place at the right time. Or not being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Time is 12:57, almost 1 a.m. 17 hours. More than 2/3 of a day that feels like a week. Time stretches during crisis, minutes become hours, hours become eternity. I remember once reading about how time perception changes under stress. The brain processes more information, creates more detailed memories, and that makes time feel slower. Evolution equipped us to pay more attention during danger. The side effect is that dangerous moments feel longer. So this day feels endless because I've been in danger all day. My brain has been in overdrive, recording everything, processing everything, trying to keep me alive. And the result is temporal distortion. Time no longer means what it used to mean. Time is 1:12. I'm thinking about the morning. When the sun comes up, will it be safe? Will infected people avoid daylight? Or will they be just as dangerous in sunlight as darkness? I don't know. Nobody knows. This is new. We're learning as we go. Everyone who survives this is figuring out the rules in real time. Trial and error. Mostly error. When morning comes, what do? Stay here? Try to leave? Try to find other survivors? Every option has risks. Staying means eventually running out of supplies. Leaving means facing infected in the street. Finding others means potentially encountering more threats or being turned away or causing conflict over resources. There's no good choice, just less bad choices. Time is 1:27. The city's quieter now. The fires are still burning, but the sounds of violence have faded. Either everyone's dead or they're hiding like me. The infected must rest sometimes, even if the pathogen drives them to aggression. The body still needs rest. basic biology. Or maybe they don't rest. Maybe the pathogen overrides that need, keeps them going until they collapse from exhaustion or starvation. Zombie movies always show them as tireless. Is that realistic? Can a body function without sleep indefinitely? I don't know, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a radio host trying to survive. Time is 1:43, I'm so tired, my eyes keep closing, I jerk awake, can't let myself sleep, but my body's demanding it. Shutting down, conservation mode. Maybe I can close my eyes for just a minute, just a brief rest. Not sleep, just rest. I'll stay alert, I'll wake at any sound. Just a minute. No, that's dangerous. The minute becomes 5 minutes, 5 becomes an hour. Next thing I know, it's morning and something's broken in while I slept. I need to stay awake. I'm pinching myself. Pain keeps you awake. I'll keep pinching. Keep causing pain. Survival isn't comfortable. Survival hurt. Time is 12:01, 18 hours. I made it to 2 a.m. New goal, make it to 3, then 4, then 5, then dawn. 4.5 more hours to dawn, 270 minutes. I can count minutes. I can focus on each one. This minute I'm alive. Next minute I'm alive. 270. Counting helps. Gives the mind something to do. Prevents wandering. Prevents panic. 1, 2, 3. Time is 2:19. I lost count. Doesn't matter. Just keep going. Keep talking. Keep broadcasting. Is anyone still listening? Are there people in their homes huddled around radios, hearing my voice? Do I provide comfort? Or do I just remind them of how bad things are? I hope it's comfort. I hope knowing someone else is alive helps them. I hope my voice in the darkness means they're not alone. Because I'm not alone either, as long as someone's listening. We're connected. Radio waves carrying my voice to your ears. Invisible thread tying us together. That matters. In the collapse of everything, that connection matters. Time is 2:37. The building's creaking, old building sounds. I've heard them 1,000 times during night shifts. Never bothered me before. Now every sound is threat. Every creak is potential danger. Hypervigilance. Another trauma symptom. The brain stuck in threat detection mode. Exhausting. But necessary. Relaxing means dying, so I stay tense. Stay ready. Stay alive. Time is 2:54. Almost 3 a.m. 19 hours since this began. Since normal ended. Since the world changed. Will it change back? Can it? Even if they develop a cure, even if they stop the infection, the damage is done. The trust is broken. We engineered a pathogen that turned into a plague. Science became horror. Progress became destruction. How do we come back from that? How do we trust research again? How do we believe that the next medical advancement won't also go catastrophically wrong? Maybe we don't. Maybe this is the moment humanity loses faith in itself. The moment we realize we're not as smart as we thought, not as in control as we believed. The moment humility replaces hubris. Or maybe we learn nothing. Maybe once this is over, we go right back to risky research, cutting corners, playing with dangerous things because progress demands it, because profit demands it, because ego demands it. Time is 3:11, 3 in the morning, the darkest hour. That's what they say. It's darkest before dawn, metaphorically and literally. 3 a.m. is when the soul despairs, when hope fades, when giving up seems reasonable. I'm not giving up, but I understand the temptation. Surrender is easier than struggle. Acceptance is easier than resistance. Just close my eyes and let it end. Stop fighting. Stop hurting. Stop being afraid. No, I'm not doing that. I'm Daniel Rothman. I'm 61 years old. I've been a broadcaster for 38 years. I've told this city about traffic and weather and community events for 11 years. I'm not stopping now. I'll broadcast until I can't. That's my purpose. That's my contribution. That's my defiance against the end of the world. Time is 3:29. The fires are burning lower. Fuel consumed, flames diminishing. Smoke rising. What's left will be ash and ruins. The city's bones exposed. Tomorrow, if there is a tomorrow, people will emerge and see what's left. They'll walk through destruction. They'll mourn. They'll try to understand. And maybe they'll start rebuilding. Or maybe they'll just leave. Abandon this cursed place. Let it become a monument to failure. I think about all the cities throughout history that were abandoned. Natural disasters, plagues, wars, conquests, people left and nature reclaimed, buildings crumbled, streets disappeared, names forgotten. Will this city become one of those? Will archaeologists centuries from now dig through our remains and wonder what happened? Will they piece together the story from clues, or will the story be lost, just another dead city among many? Time is 3:48. I need water. I'm dehydrated. Haven't drunk enough. Too focused on staying awake, staying alive. Basic needs neglected. I'm drinking now. The water's cold. Feels good. Clears my head slightly. I need to remember to drink. Dehydration kills. Stupid way to die during apocalypse. Survive the infection and the violence only to die of thirst. Time is 4:06, 20 hours. I'm in my 20th hour. My body's beyond tired, beyond exhausted, operating on something deeper. Will, determination, stubbornness. My body wants to quit, but my mind won't let it. I don't know how much longer I can do this. Dawn is 2.5 hours away. That seems possible. Barely possible. I'll make it to dawn. Then I'll see what happens. Maybe I can rest during daylight if it's safer. Maybe. Time is 4:24. I'm hallucinating. I see movement in shadows that isn't there. I hear voices that aren't real. My brain is creating stimuli where none exist. Sleep deprivation effect. Dangerous because I might not distinguish real threats from imaginary ones. I need to stay rational. When I see something, verify it. Look carefully. Don't react to hallucinations. Save energy for real threats. Stay focused. Stay sane. Sanity is survival. Time is 4:43. Less than 2 hours to dawn. I can make it. I can. Just keep going. Keep talking. Keep existing. What do I talk about? I've been talking for 20 hours. I've said everything. I've repeated myself. I've rambled. I've philosophized. I've reported news and information and fear. What's left? I'll talk about hope. That's what's left. Hope that tomorrow is better. Hope that someone's listening. Hope that humanity survives this. Hope that we learn. Hope that we're worthy of surviving. Time is 5:02, 21 hours, 3/4 of a day, the longest day of my life. Every day going forward will be measured against today. Nothing will ever be this hard again. If I survive today, I can survive anything. That's a comforting thought, that the worst is now. That everything after is easier by comparison. I'll hold on to that thought. I'll carry it through dawn, through whatever comes next. Time is 5:21. The sky is lightning, barely perceptible, but it's there. Dark blue instead of black. Dawn is coming. I'm going to make it. I'm going to see sunrise. That seemed impossible hours ago. But here I am, still alive, still broadcasting, still witnessing. I did it. I survived the night. What does that mean? I don't know. But it means something. It has to mean something. Time is 5:41. The sky is definitely lighter. I can see the buildings across the street now, silhouettes becoming details. The fires have mostly burned out. Smoke hangs over everything. The city looks dead, quiet. Still, are the infected still out there? Are they resting, hiding from light? Or are they just as dangerous in daylight? I'll find out soon. Others will venture out, test the safety, report back, or not report back, which is also information. Time is 6:03. The sun is rising, orange light touching the tops of buildings, spreading down, illuminating destruction. I can see it all now. Burned buildings, broken windows, abandoned cars, empty street, but also somewhere down there survivors. People who made it through the night like me. People emerging cautiously. People looking for others. People hoping. We're not extinct. Not yet. We're still here. I made it to dawn. 22 hours. I broadcast through the night. I kept the signal going. I did my job. And now I face a new question. What happens next? The sun is up. Day has broken. Tuesday is over. Wednesday has begun. And I'm still here. Still alive. Still Daniel Rothman on 104.7 FM. Still broadcasting. For now, I'll keep going. I'll keep talking. I'll keep being that voice in the darkness, even though it's light now. Because maybe someone needs it. Maybe someone's listening. Maybe I can help. Or maybe I'm just talking to myself. But even that has value. It keeps me sane. It keeps me human. And humanity is what we're fighting to preserve. This is Daniel Rothman. It's Wednesday morning, November 9th, 2025. The apocalypse happened yesterday. Today we survive. Tomorrow we rebuild. That's the plan. That's the hope. Stay safe out there. Stay strong. Stay human. We'll get through this together. Or we won't, but we'll try. That's all we can do. We'll try. I'm going to stay on air as long as I can. As long as power holds. As long as I can keep talking. You're not alone. Remember that. Whatever you're facing, wherever you are, you're not alone. I'm here. Others are out there. We're all in this together. Now let me tell you what I'm seeing from the studio window as day breaks on a changed world. The smoke is thick but clearing gradually in the morning breeze. I can make out the downtown area better now. Some buildings are intact, others are damaged or destroyed. The market district where this all began is too far for me to see from here, but I can see the direction and there's heavy smoke still rising from that area. Traffic signals are still functioning, cycling through their patterns for roads that have no traffic. Cars abandoned in the streets, some with doors open, some crashed into poles or other vehicles. The interstate overpass visible from here shows a mass of stopped vehicles. People fled in panic yesterday and didn't make it far before the quarantine or before whatever happened to them. I can see movement. Small figures moving between buildings. Too far to tell if they're survivors or infected. They move slowly, which could mean either survivors moving cautiously, infected moving between rest periods. Impossible to know from this distance. The National Guard helicopters are still flying overhead. Lower now, slower. Surveillance patterns, looking for signs of life, signs of infection, signs of anything they can use to plan their response. Will they send ground troops in? Will they attempt rescue operations, or will they just observe and wait for the infection to run its course? Time is 6:29. 23 hours. I'm starting hour 24. A full day will be complete at 6:47 when I started broadcasting yesterday morning. That seems significant. A complete cycle. One full rotation of the Earth. So much happened in one rotation. My voice is hoarse. I've been talking for most of 23 hours. My throat hurts. My mouth is dry despite the water. My body is completely exhausted. But I'm still here. Still functioning. Still doing this. I should probably eat something. Keep my energy up. I have chips and candy bars left. Not ideal nutrition, but it's what I have. I'll eat while I talk. You'll forgive the noise of chewing, I hope. Survival trumps broadcast etiquette. The chips are stale, the vending machine probably hadn't been restocked recently. But calories are calories. The candy bar is melted slightly, still edible. Chocolate and peanuts and sugar, fuel for my depleted system. Time is 6:47, 24 hours. A full day. I started broadcasting at this exact time yesterday morning. 11 years of waking up early, coming to the station, sitting in this chair, starting the show at 6:47 a.m. Routine. Consistency. Until yesterday. Today I don't know if there will be a show tomorrow. I don't know if there's a station to broadcast from anymore. I don't know if there's an audience to broadcast to. But I'm here now, so I'll continue now. The sun is fully up, the city is illuminated. I can see more detail, more destruction, but also more signs of life. I can see people on rooftops. They've survived by going up, getting above the danger. Smart. Infected probably can't climb well. Though I don't know that for sure, just assuming. One rooftop has people waving, signaling to the helicopters, requesting rescue. Will the helicopters respond? Can they land safely? How do they verify those people aren't infected? These are the logistics of survival nobody planned for. Time is 7:24. I'm going to try to contact someone. Anyone. The phone lines might still work. I'll call City Emergency Operations Center, see if anyone answers. Calling now. It's ringing. That's promising. Ringing, ringing. Someone picked up. Emergency Operations Center. This is Daniel Rothman from 104.7 FM. I'm broadcasting from the station downtown. Can you give me an update on the situation? Hold, please. I'm on hold. Muzak playing. Absurdly normal in this situation. Hold music during the apocalypse. The mundane persisting through catastrophe. Someone's back on the line. This is Commander Harris, National Guard. Who am I speaking with? Daniel Rothman. I'm a radio broadcaster. I've been on air continuously since yesterday morning. I have listeners across the city. What can you tell me? Mr. Rothman, the city is under quarantine. The infection is still active. We're working on containment and rescue operations. Can you see the streets from your location? Yes, I'm on the 3rd floor. I can see downtown. What's the activity level? How many infected are visible? I see movement, but I can't tell infected from survivors at this distance. The streets are mostly empty. I've seen people on rooftops signaling. Understood. Mr. Rothman, if you're still broadcasting, please inform your listeners that rescue operations will begin this afternoon. Survivors should stay where they are, make themselves visible from the air, and wait for extraction. Do not attempt to move through the street. Repeat, do not go into the street. How many survivors are estimated? We don't have accurate numbers yet. Initial surveys suggest thousands made it through the night, but the infection is still spreading. Anyone bitten or scratched is at risk. Symptoms develop within hours. Once symptomatic, there's no treatment. No treatment at all, nothing effective. The pathogen was experimental. No cure was developed because it wasn't supposed to be able to infect humans in its dormant state. Something activated it. We don't know what. We don't know how to reverse it. So infected people they'll remain infected until they die from injuries, starvation, or exhaustion. The pathogen doesn't kill directly, it just changes behavior. But infected can't care for themselves. They don't eat, don't drink, they attack anything that moves. They'll die eventually, but it could take days. Jesus. Continue broadcasting if you can, Mr. Rothman. Information is critical. Tell people to stay put. Help is coming. But it takes time. We're working as fast as we can. Understood? Thank you, Commander. Stay safe. The line went dead. He hung up. That was Commander Harris of the National Guard. First official contact since yesterday's press conference. First concrete information. Let me summarize what he said for anyone listening. The city remains under quarantine. The infection is still active and spreading. There is no cure or treatment. Infected people will eventually die from neglect, but could take days. Rescue operations begin this afternoon. Survivors should stay where they are, make themselves visible from the air, and wait for extraction. Do not go into the street. That's the official guidance. Stay put. Help is coming. Eventually. Time is 7:28. I have new information to share. That changes things. That gives hope. Rescue operations. Extraction. Survival isn't just about lasting through today. It's about lasting until rescue arrives. But how long? This afternoon could mean noon or could mean 6 p.m. That's anywhere from 4 to 10 more hours. Can people last that long? Can I last that long? Food and water supplies are limited. If infected are actively hunting, can people stay hidden that long? And the rescue itself, how does it work? Helicopters landing on rooftops? Ground convoys? Both? How do they screen people? How do they prevent infected from getting evacuated? These are questions I can't answer, but it's something, it's a plan. The military is responding. Survivors will be rescued. That's more than we had yesterday. Time is 7:46. I'm looking at the streets again. More movement now. As the sun gets higher and warmer, more activity. I see a group of people running from one building to another. Survivors making a move. Hope they make it. I see infected too. Moving more actively now. The infection doesn't make them nocturnal. They're just as dangerous in daylight. That's bad for anyone trying to move. There, I just watched an infected person attack someone. It happened fast. Person came out of a building, maybe looking for supplies or trying to reach another location. Infected person emerged from behind a car, sprinted at them, tackle, attack. It's over. The victim is down. The infected is feeding. No, not feeding. Attacking, fighting, spreading infection. That's what they do. And now the victim will become infected. In hours, they'll turn. They'll become one of the attackers. The cycle continues. Exponential growth. Math of plague. Time is 8:103. 25 hours. Over a day. I'm into my second day of continuous broadcasting. Yesterday was Tuesday. Today is Wednesday. Time continues even when the world ends. Days follow nights follow days. The earth keeps turning. Physics doesn't care about biology or suffering or human catastrophe. There's something comforting in that. The universe is indifference. We're not that important. This plague that's destroying our city is barely a blip in cosmic terms. The universe has seen countless extinction events. Planets destroyed, stars dying, galaxies colliding. Our little outbreak is nothing. Doesn't help the people dying, of course. For them it's everything. It's the end of their universe. But perspective matters. Understanding scale. This is bad, but it's not universal. Life continues elsewhere. Even if everyone in this city dies, humanity continues. Civilization continues. The species survives. Cold comfort. But comfort nonetheless. Time is 8:21. I need to move around. My body is seizing up from sitting so long, I'm going to walk around the studio. Stretch my legs. Keep talking while I move. Walking helps. Blood flowing. Muscles activating. I feel slightly more alert. The exercise is minimal, but it's something. Movement is life. Stagnation is death. I'm looking at the equipment in here, broadcasting equipment I've used for years. Microphone, mixer, computer, monitors, tools of my trade. Still working despite everything. Still sending my voice out to whoever's listening. The station has backup power systems, generators. If the main power fails, we can keep broadcasting for days. Fuel for the generators is stored on site. Someone thought ahead when this station was built. Thank them, whoever they were. Time is 8:39. I can see National Guard helicopters landing on some rooftops. Early rescue operations starting. They're picking up survivors. Good. That means the afternoon timeline might mean sooner rather than later. But I'm not on a rooftop. I'm inside a building. How do I signal them? I can't get to the roof. The building's locked and I don't have keys to access the stairwell beyond this floor. I'm trapped in the studio area. Maybe I don't need rescue. I have supplies here. I have security. The building's solid. I could wait it out longer. Let them rescue people in more immediate danger. I'm okay for now. But what if power fails? What if the infected breach the building? What if something happens and I need help? Better to be rescued when I can than wait too long and miss the chance. I need to think about this, but not now. I'll monitor the situation, see how rescues proceed, make a decision later. Time is 8:57, almost 9 a.m. I've been awake for approximately 29 hours. My body should have collapsed by now, but adrenaline and necessity keep me going. The human body can endure incredible stress when survival demands it. I remember reading about soldiers in war, days without sleep, constant danger, physical exhaustion pushed beyond limits. And they function, they fight, they survive. The body adapts, the mind compensates. Humans are resilient. I'm experiencing that resilience now. I shouldn't be able to do this, but I am, because I have to, because there's no alternative. Survival requires it, so I do it. Time is 9:16. The rescue helicopters are working steadily. I've watched 3 land on various rooftops, pick up people and fly away. They're taking survivors to safety outside the quarantine zone. Where, I don't know. Probably temporary camps set up outside the city. Process them, screen them, make sure they're not infected. What happens to people who are bitten or scratched but haven't shown symptoms yet? Do they let them out, or do they quarantine them separately? How long does screening take? These are the questions that determine whether rescue operations spread the infection or contain it. I trust the military has protocols. They've dealt with biohazards before, anthrax, Ebola, other pathogens. They know how to handle this, or I hope they do. Time is 9:34. I'm hearing something on the police scanner. Multiple officers requesting backup at the Civic Center. That's where the screening was happening yesterday. Something's going wrong there. Scanner says infected have breached the building. Security being overwhelmed, medical personnel trapped inside. This is bad. The Civic Center was supposed to be secure. If infected can breach it, nowhere's truly safe. Officers are responding, but it's chaotic. Gunfire reported. Screaming. The scanner audio is disturbing. I can hear the fear in the dispatcher's voice. This is unprecedented. Police aren't trained for this. Nobody was trained for this. Time is 9:52. The situation at the Civic Center has escalated. Scanner reports multiple casualties, both officers and civilians. The building is being evacuated, but not everyone made it out. Some people are still trapped inside with This is what Commander Harris warned about. The infection is still spreading, still active, still dangerous. Even organized facilities with armed security aren't safe. The infection adapts, finds ways through defenses, overwhelms precaution. How do you stop something like this? How do you contain a pathogen that spreads through violence, and the violence keeps spreading it? Traditional quarantine methods don't work when infected people actively seek out uninfected people to attack. You'd need to kill all the infected, that's the brutal math, eliminate the vectors, but they're people, or they were people. Do they deserve mercy, or do they deserve elimination? What's the ethical calculus when humanity's survival is at stake? I don't have answers. I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions. I'm just a broadcaster. I observe. I report. I don't decide who lives and dies. Time is 10:11. 27 hours. Over a full day. I'm running on fumes now. My exhaustion is complete. My mind is foggy, making mistakes, stumbling over words, losing track of thoughts. I need rest, but I can't rest. The rescue helicopters are still working. That's good. That's hope. Focus on that. Focus on hope. People being saved, taken to safety. The count of survivors growing with each extraction. How many have been rescued so far? Hundreds. Thousands. I don't know. But every one is a victory. Every life saved is worth it. That's what I tell myself. That's what keeps me going. Time is 10:29. I'm thinking about my daughter, Sarah. Is she watching news coverage? Does she know I'm still alive? I should try to call her. Let her know I'm okay. My phone's off. Saving battery, I'll turn it on. Quick call, then off again. Phone's on. Calling Sarah. It's ringing, please answer. Please be there. Dad? Sarah, I'm alive. I'm okay. Oh, thank God, I've been watching the news. It's horrific. Are you still at the station? Yes. I'm safe here. Broadcasting. The National Guard is conducting rescue operations. I'll be okay. You need to get out of there. I will, when it's safe. when they can reach me. I'm so scared for you. I know, I'm scared too, but I'm gonna make it. I promise. I love you, Dad. I love you too, honey. I have to go. I need to save the phone battery. But I'm okay. Remember that. Be careful. I will. I hung up. She's safe. That's what matters. My daughter is safe. Whatever happens to me, she'll be okay. That gives me peace. Time is 10:47. 28 hours. The day continues. The sun's high now. Temperature's warming. If I had to guess, mid-60s? Nice day objectively. Terrible day contextually. The contrast is striking. Beautiful weather, clear skies, sun shining, and below horror. Death, destruction. Nature doesn't coordinate with human events. Good weather happens during bad times. Bad weather happens during good times. No correlation. I wonder what the weather was like during other historical catastrophes. Did the sun shine during the Black Death? Did birds sing during the Holocaust? Did flowers bloom during Hiroshima? Probably. Life continuing oblivious to human suffering. The world moving on regardless. Time is 11:05. I can see fires starting again. Probably survivors trying to signal helicopters. Smoke signals, primitive but effective. The helicopters notice smoke, investigate, find survivors, extract them. It worked. But fires also risk spreading, burning more buildings, creating more destruction. The balance between signaling for help and causing damage. Desperate times call for desperate measures. Survivors prioritize rescue over preservation. Can't blame them. The city's already heavily damaged. More fire won't matter much at this point. Might even help by burning out areas where infected hide, cleansed by flame. Biblical, apocalyptic, fitting. Time is 11:24, almost noon, 29 hours. I'm approaching 30. That seems significant. 30 hours of continuous broadcasting. Has anyone ever done that? Probably. Marathon radio events for charity or records. But during an apocalypse, that's unique. Not that it matters, there's no record book anymore. No one to certify achievements. Society collapsed, records are meaningless, only survival matters now, and I'm surviving by broadcasting. So I continue. I need more water. I'm going through my supply. I need to ration better. Make it last. Don't know how long until rescue or until I need to leave. Conserve resources. Survival. Time is 11:43. The police scanner reports that the Civic Center has been abandoned. Too many infected. Too dangerous. Officers pulled back to defensible positions elsewhere. The building is lost. How many people were in there? How many didn't make it out? I don't have numbers, but it's dozens at least. Maybe hundreds. A tragedy within a tragedy. People who survived the night killed in daylight in what should have been a safe location. There are no safe locations. That's the lesson. The infection reaches everywhere eventually. The only safety is extraction. Getting out of the city. Crossing the quarantine line. Reaching uninfected territory. And for those of us still inside waiting for rescue, every minute is risk. Every moment infected could find us. Every second could be our last. Time is noon. 30 hours. A milestone. I've broadcast for 30 hours straight. My voice is barely functional. My throat is damaged. I sound terrible. But I'm still audible. Still communicating. Still doing the job. How long can I continue? I don't know. The human voice isn't designed for this. Professional broadcasters take breaks, rest their vocal cords. I haven't rested. I've been talking almost nonstop for 30 hours. My voice might give out completely. Then what? Silent broadcast? Just transmitting dead air? Would people stay tuned to silence knowing someone's still alive at the transmitter? Maybe silence would be more meaningful than words at this point. The absence of voice showing exhaustion, showing struggle, showing the toll this takes. Words might be empty, silence might be profound, but I'll keep talking as long as I can, because that's my job, because that's who I am. I see survivors on my rooftop now. They must have climbed from the floors above. They're waving at helicopters, trying to get attention. They're separated from me by locked doors and stairs I can't access, but they're there. Other people in this building survived. That's encouraging. Should I try to reach them, break through the doors, join them on the roof, or stay here where I have my equipment, my supplies, my purpose? The broadcast is important. It serves a function. Leaving the studio ends the broadcast. Is that acceptable? I don't know. I'll wait. See if they get rescued. See what happens. Make decisions as needed. Flexibility is survival. Time is 12:38. 31 hours. The afternoon is here. Rescue operations intensifying. This is what Commander Harris meant. Afternoon brings increased effort. More helicopters, more extractions, more hope. I need to stay positive. Focus on the rescues. on people surviving, on the count of living growing, not on the dead, not on the infected, not on what's lost, only on what's saved. That's hard. The losses are overwhelming. The dead outnumber the living at this point. But the living matter more. Each life saved is infinite value to that person, their family, their friends, their potential. Saving one person saves their entire universe. That's worth everything. Time is 12:57. I'm watching a rescue in progress on a nearby building, helicopter hovering, people being winched up, one by one. It's slow, careful, making sure no one falls, making sure everyone gets aboard safely. The helicopter's full now. 6 people plus crew. It's leaving, flying toward the quarantine perimeter. Those 6 people are safe. They made it. They survived. 6 more victories against the infection. How many total have been rescued? Thousands probably. Out of 340,000 city population. Even if tens of thousands survive, that's still massive loss. 90% casualty rate? Higher? The math is grim, but the survivors count. Each one counts. Time is 1:16, 32 hours. I'm beyond exhausted into something else, a transcendent state where the body just operates on autopilot, the conscious mind detached, observing from distance. I'm functioning but not present. Dissociation maybe, survival mechanism. The brain protecting itself from overload. I can work with this. This detached state is actually easier than the exhausted panic of earlier. I'm calm now, accepting. Whatever happens, happens. I can't control it. I can only experience it. That acceptance brings peace. Is this enlightenment, the Buddhist concept of releasing attachment, accepting impermanence? I've reached that state through exhaustion and trauma instead of meditation. Different path, same destination. I am here now. This moment exists. The next moment is unknown. I accept both truths. Time is one. A helicopter is approaching my building. It's hovering near the roof. They're rescuing the survivors up there. This is my chance. If I want rescue, I need to reach the roof. Need to break through to the stairwell. Need to get up there before the helicopter leaves. Do I do it? Do I abandon the broadcast? End my 32-hour run? Leave the studio that's been my sanctuary? I'm standing. Decision made. I'm going to try. Worst case, I can't get through and I stay here. Best case, I get rescued. Medium case, I die trying. Those are acceptable odds. I'm leaving the microphone on. If I make it back, I'll continue. If I don't, the transmitter will keep broadcasting. Dead air as tribute. The station that didn't stop even when the broadcaster did. Goodbye for now. This is Daniel Rothman on 104.7 FM. I'm trying to reach the roof. I hope to be back. If not, thank you for listening. You gave me purpose through this. You gave me reason to continue. You saved me as much as I hope I helped you. Stay safe. Survive. Remember, that's all we can do now. I'm going.